And all right, give it a minute to. All right. Are we live? Wise words from a great man once said. You know what I'm saying? Let's see the chat response. So I promised you an amazing guest, the most highly requested, and he is here. We got Jackmoove Johnny up in here. Let me update the title. With special guest Jackmoove Johnny, aka the Pony Commissioner.
What's good? What's good?
Here we go. Boom. Save. All right, here we go. What's going on? What's going on? So welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers, of course. Your only friend these YouTube streets, Puertorock77. And today's special guest is the Pony Commissioner himself. You remember that?
Hey man, that was the good old days, man.
We're gonna talk about it, man. Those are the good old days. And some people be like, "Yo, why Puerto Rock do that for?" Y'all have no idea. I'm telling you, these dudes missed the golden era, bro. They missed the golden era of podcasting, man. They don't understand how much fun we had, and a lot of people didn't take it personal, man. But there was a lot of good stuff, man. But that was you know, we got Jackmoove Johnny, man. He's from Memphis. What's going on, my brother, man? How you been?
You know, I'm chilling, man. I'm doing good. You know what I mean? Navigating these Twitter streets. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard, bro. Like you said, bro. I remember a time where people didn't, you know, you could say some shit. It might be a little bit of back and forth, but these dudes, bro, you can't say nothing now, bro. Like,
oh man, they cut you off, bro. Like, yo, it's like now establishing relationships, friends, just chilling is literally the console. Like, if you ain't rocking with a console, like, I can't talk to you. Like, what the fuck is you talking about? Like, yo, back then, you know, last gen, podcasting, you know, and talking was crazy. I mean, Weapon Wheel, I mean, that was like literally some of the podcasters. Really, podcasting back then was really about the back and forth. That's literally was the point. Get a lot of people, different point of views, say your shit. But when the podcast was done, everybody was cool. It was just conversation on the console. Like, okay, cante. We all get heated, but at the end of the day, it's just a fucking console. It's just games. It's just gaming industry. You could just be chill, and we could end up talking about sports or just life or whatever. But now it's like, yo, you talk bad about my Bob box, we ain't cool no more. And I'm like, yo, it's crazy. Like, I'll be honest, I don't even know who likes me or who don't like me anymore. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. Like, people who were on my podcast last gen, I'm not sure who fucks with me now. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you one way or another. This gen. How about you feel? Do you feel the same way? Like, a lot of the people that podcasted with you last gen, right? Whether it was on your channel, on Weapon Wheel, are you confident you cool with some of those cats this gen? Those very same dudes that...
Not all the way. I got a funny story about that too. I don't know if you know this, but you know I'm cool with Blaze, and I was talking to Blaze one night. He was like, you don't really fuck with Puerto Rock, dude. I'm like, bro, what you talking about? Like, I'm like, bro, just because I might not agree with some shit he say, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't not fuck, you know what I mean? Like, so, like I said, bro, navigating these streets is difficult, bro. Because just because I might say, that's dumb as hell what they just said. You don't fuck with, like, bro. Like, we don't gotta agree on everything. You see what I'm saying? Like,
you could absolutely say you hate PlayStation. I'd be like, all right. And if you invite me on a podcast or just talk, whatever, or if let's say I put out, hey, I got a work trip in Memphis, and you be like, yo, Puerto Rock, you want to chill on a barbecue? Cool. I don't listen. You could rag on PlayStation. It's a product, bro. Like, am I gonna be pissed off if you say you hate the Yankees? Like, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. It's okay to say you don't like this shit, right? And stuff like that, right? I don't understand. Now, I can understand, like, and this is where it gets weird. Like, I can understand, it'd be like, I hate PlayStation and I hate that bitch Puerto Rock. All right, it ain't the PlayStation part that I'm mad at. I'm gonna be like, but where did that bitch Puerto Rock
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Like, holy shit. You see what I'm saying? But we never did that. You know what I'm saying? We never had a personal conversation. Like, and how does it get personal? I don't fucking know. I don't know how,
bruh.
it just...
It's crazy too, because when I first came in this community, bro, like I came in this community being cool with like a lot of Nintendo guys, a lot of like Xbox dudes. I don't necessarily, mess with them systems like that, but some of my closest friends I met through this internet shit on the gaming side, they don't even, you know what I mean? They not real like PlayStation do like this. So I have noticed like it's gonna be a lot of like extremists, bro. Like if you're not really like plugged in with PlayStation, like they just don't fuck with you at all. It's like, bro, where did y'all come from with this kind of mindset, bro? Like, it's weird, dog.
I noticed that. I noticed. It's just this weird shift in content creation, in podcasting, in conversation. That now, like, actual information anymore. That's not a thing now. I noticed, right? I don't know if maybe you noticed it, but like the hot topics I see on podcasting is not talking about what actually is happening. It's more like what people want to be happening. If that makes sense.
Yes.
They want their feelings nurtured rather than what you call it. The reality of certain situations. That's why some of these topics, like some of the stuff, like I'll be honest, like the whole, I know, jumping into Xbox, whatever, but like I don't know how much you paid attention to me or the community, but back in 2023, with the whole Tim Stewart shit, right? I saw, right, the actual Wells Fargo thing, right? When the news came out about him saying putting games on PlayStation, I generally don't like to report paragraphs or whatever. So I'd be like, all right, let me look for the source. Where's this coming from? I'm like, oh, he was at a Wells Fargo event, a summit. And then I'm like, all right, let me see. Where's this summit at? Can I see it? And then I'm like, oh, shit, all you got to do is just put your name and email and you can see the broadcast recording. So that's what I did. I'm like, all right, let me sit here and watch it. And I watched the whole thing. He talked more than just Xbox. It was actually 40 minutes. The Xbox part was actually 10, 15 minutes of his combo. But he talked about a lot more stuff, right? But I'm listening. And I saw the whole thing, and I'm like, yo, my jaw dropped. I'm like, yo, this is it. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And then I did a video, and I showed it. So I showed the audience the whole broadcast, whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool. This is going to be crazy. Next day, Puertorock's ass got reamed. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about because of Jess Corden. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is happening, bro? I was like, yo, I literally showed the video. Like, you heard the dude. You heard it from his own mouth. And I'm like, the motherfucker's talking about my ass? We didn't talk like that. I'm like, talking about someone's ass getting reamed? The fuck is we doing here? Especially when I showed the video. And motherfuckers ignoring it? Yo, that's Jackmoove. At that point, I'm like, yo, this shit can't be real, bro. These are grifts. There's no fucking way. Like, I literally, on my channel, look, like, listen, you can hear the guy. And these motherfuckers like, Puertorock, fuck him. You know what the fuck he's talking about. And I'm like, all right, bitch. This is happening. And when it happens, don't be mad when I clap. Because I think you could know from last gen, I'll clap back real quick. I will make a motherfucker look stupid real quick. But I was just shocked. Like, yo, if you can't even pay attention to what a dude is saying, like, then what can we do in this community? What do you think about it? Have you noticed that? Like, people ignore your shit?
Like you said, you can have Google, you can have cited sources, you can have direct quotes, the real video. Like, people don't care. And like you saying, whatever, people don't care what you, especially if they don't like you. That's really what it, people don't care what you say. They put what they feel onto you. So whatever you said, it don't matter. They just gonna put their words in your mouth. Like, bro, I never said this. I never like insinuated this. And people will see this happening and side with the person that don't like you. It's like, brother, am I in the Twilight Zone? Like, am I not speaking English? It's crazy, bro. It really is.
Yo, that's a good point, right? Because I will say this, right? So, Van Outdoor, right? He was the first one that broke out the news about Horizon being made for PlayStation.
Yeah.
You know, he had his inside source. I publicly said, this guy don't know what the fuck he's talking about, whatever. But when it happened, I went back to him directly, publicly. I'd be like, yo, Rand was right. I was wrong. Give props to Rand. Right? Give props to Rand. Like, because listen, when I'm wrong, I will admit it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with giving the person his flowers, right? And I give him his flowers. I was like, yo, Rand, you the real deal, though. I don't know how you did it. I don't know who you talking to. But you called it, and it happened. And I'm like, things change. I'm like, wow, bro. Give Rand his flowers. We all looking stupid here, right? All right, cool. Fast forward a few years later, with the whole Xbox going to play, Xbox making games for PlayStation, I was one of those. Rand was one of those. I was like, that's not happening. They got it wrong. It's ABK. Now we know the truth. And I'm like, hey, Rand, bro, I was right. You know what he does? He brings back the old shit. Oh, yeah, kind of like how you were wrong with, all right? I'm like, yeah, but I gave you your flowers. Here, I even showed him the tweet. I gave you your props. You're not going to give me my props? You're not going to say, damn, Puertorock, my bad. You know what? You a real dude. You got it. The fuck? Like, so now we're at the point where you can't even acknowledge when a person's right now. That's not possible. And I think it's because of what you're saying. You got to placate to your audience. That's what I think is happening. You got to placate to your audience. And if an audience demands, you're going to do it this way because this is how I feel, then you have to make content based on how they feel. You can't make factual content because then they'll look at you like, I'm not watching you then because I'm not here for this. And I'm like, man, you're not here for facts? I love you too. You're not here for facts? And that's crazy, bro, because the thing is, if the audience don't want facts, then I'm going to tell you, gaming conversation is going to go to shit. If it's not there already. Because if you can't talk facts of reality, then what are we going to talk? Emotional bullshit? We really going to have a serious conversation on Helldivers 2 going on Xbox? Like, really? That's a real conversation? Like, really? That's a real conversation? That's a serious conversation? We really going to seriously acknowledge that? Like, if we put up with this emotional bullshit, like, man, I don't know what direction gaming podcast is going to go. I really don't know. It can't be topics on bullshit. What do you think?
I mean, it's really been like, bro, that's the one thing that's kind of like, I guess you could say, fatigued me about podcasts and stuff like that. Because if you think about it, bro, we really been touching on the same like 2 or 3 topics for the past, really this whole generation. Mm-hmm. And it just gets tiring, man, because I'm never going, if somebody feel the type way, you're never going to change their opinion. And going back to something you just said, like, it really is hard to balance, like, having an audience and having your own opinion. Like, I can't fold a bend to how I feel anyway, right? So I got a good example of that. Intergalactic, Naughty Dog show Intergalactic at Game Awards. And I was like, I've been waiting on the Naughty Dog game. I've been complaining about them not putting out games. They show a game I want to play. I'm hyped, right? I'm hyped for Intergalactic, right? I have a comment. I have a comment, dude. Like, Jack, you've been roasting PlayStation fanboys, such and such. Now you hype for this bullshit from Naughty. I'm like, brother, I complain about them not putting out games. They showing the game I want to play. What the fuck am I gonna complain about? You know what I mean? And this dude was heated at me. He wrote this long ass essay. Then he took it to Twitter. I'm like, my guy, like, I don't know what you want me to do, dog. I want to play the game, brother. Like, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's crazy.
So yeah, I think we were both in a similar situation talking about Naughty Dog, right? Like it's taken a while to play a new Naughty Dog game, right? And I think we both agree it's that live service strategy. I think we could both agree this live service strategy was the stupidest shit, or at least the way they executed it, like going hard, like they're trying to catch up to like 8 years of whatever, in just in a flash of the plan. It was just mad dumb, right? And, and I firmly believe this live service strategy kind of derailed the system they set up with the PS4. Like the methodology, the pacing, they say, hey, we're going to implement this huge things. And I'm going to say, some people, I don't know how you feel, but some people, some people want to argue, and that's fine. Everybody has a different opinion about, Sony needs to do this. I say no, Sony wants to do this. There's a difference between need and want. Yeah. Because if they really needed it, then they would have started that shit last gen. And if they really needed it, PS4 would not have been successful because we didn't have live service games of the shit they're trying to do on PS4. Like, it didn't exist. Other than Gran Turismo, and I know people, these dudes want to use Gran Turismo and MLB as a crutch. But, like, listen, those type of games has always been multiplayer from the day they were born. They started out as couch multiplayer. You know, you sit right next to the dude and you play against each other. That's multiplayer. Then once online got activated, now you're playing against people online. Then they realized, hey, we can add some DLC, do some updates. Gran Turismo and MLB was just an evolution of the multiplayer that started on couch co-op. That's normal. But this live service is a different strategy because they're trying to create games from the ground up, new IPs, new characters, new everything, and they're just trying to dedicate a whole studio to do that. Shotgun blast, get it out. So it's not the same, right? They didn't do that with the PS4. And the PS4, everybody loves the PS4. That's what confuses me. Oh, Sony needs multiplayer, live service. And I'm like, we didn't have that on the PS4 and everybody loved the PS4. In fact, aren't people saying the PS4 gen is better than this gen?
Yeah.
So I don't know. You let me know your thoughts, but my opinion, Sony doesn't need it. They just want it.
Yeah, of course. My thing is this, and this go back to something else we just said. A lot of these guys did not want games as a service, multiplayer games until they found out Sony was working on them. Then that's what you see. People, this is what irritates me, bro. I hate when people they attitude and their opinions change based on what the CEOs of the company. Bro, that's lame, bro. If you did. A lot of these dudes don't play online games. They don't care about them, but they heard Sony was making 10 or 12 games. Now they all for them. It's the bee's knees, right? They can't live without them. Then turn around, they cancel about 9 of these games. Oh, well, we never wanted them anyway. I'm glad they're... Brother. I just need these people to stay consistent. At least a little... Everybody's a hypocrite, right? But have some type of consistency to your opinion, man. I hate people that... It irritates the hell out of me. But as far as these games and service, bro... I'm not all the way against them, you know what I mean? I would like some Sony, I guess you would say Sony made online games, but like you said, should they have made 12 and 1? Of course not. Absolutely. That was dumb as hell. Like, and how about this? They bringing on the Deviations of the world, the Fair Games developers of the world. How them making, you know what I mean, the games? How your real heavy hitters, your Naughty Dogs, your Santa Monica Studios, your Bens, don't have them. And reportedly, Jim Ryan had all the first-party devs working on the game. Whoever was working with them, you got to have some type of games as a service initiative going. And you can make another game, but you got to have this work. Like, that was dumb as hell, bro. Extremely stupid. Like, Sony ain't never really, aside from like when they was making like Planet Side 2 and DC Universe Online, they've never had a games as a service division like that. That ain't something that ain't one of their strong suits to begin with. So I don't know why they hopped off the porch so crazy, bro. It was definitely dumb as hell. It's biting them in the ass right now. It reset a majority, if not all, of their developers. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's one of my complaints with PlayStation, because now we seeing how they doing the cross-generation stuff. A lot of these games, we might not see the next such and such game until the end of the PS5 generation. But by that time, it's going to double as a fucking launch game for the PS6. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not feeling it, bro. Like, I don't know, dog.
Yeah, so I know some people, when this whole strategy first came up, I dogged it from the get-go. And people were like, oh, you're biased against live service multiplayer. Like, listen, I was a multiplayer guy, right? So I understand the fun of more. People think, like, you know what's crazy? People still don't know how to use PSN ID and the fun of it, right? But that's a different aspect of knowing a company, right, that never really was good at it. Sony was never really good at multiplayer games, right? For the most part. And sure, yep. PS3, they had a lot, but they weren't bangers. They weren't like the Gears of Wars and the Halo 3s, the Battlefields and the Call of Duties. They were just good. Like the Last of Us factions. It was good. But let's not pretend that it was on the level of a Call of Duty or whatever. And that's okay, right? But as a company, they generally don't make the super big bangers. All right, cool. They released the PlayStation 4, right? They focus on their strength, which is the first person storytelling of various kinds, and they say, you know what, we're gonna hit up these third party because they're doing it the best. Let's get with the Call of Duty guys, let's get with the Apex Legends guys, let's get with Fortnite, let's get these map packs and stuff and bundles or whatever. And it worked. It fucking worked. Everybody loved the PS4. Now all of a sudden in PS5, because Sony said, hey, we're gonna dedicate our strategy to live service, 60% of the budget's gonna go to that. Everybody's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what we want. I'm like, if that was exactly what you wanted, then how did the PS4 ended up so successful? Because the PS4 didn't give you any of this shit. That's why I was saying this whole need is BS, because if it was a need, PS4 wouldn't have been successful because it didn't do it at all. There was no live service main strategy on the PS4. It just people were happy with what Sony did. They balanced their own shit and they let the third party get their own live service stuff, and there was a good balance and it was fine, right? Now, I get Sony wants live service. Now, if that's what you want, cool. But like you said, Bungie hire, I really don't care. Some people say it was a stupid purchase. You know what? It's not my money, right? If anything, I prefer that because at least you're buying a dedicated studio that if they fuck up, it's not Naughty Dog fucking up. It's not Insomniac fucking up. It's not, goddamn Bluepoint fucking up with a live service God of War. Like, you understand? It doesn't impact us. Let Sony invest on new people. Haven Studios, cool. Buy Haven Studios. Even the Concord devs. What is it? Firewalk, I think they were called. Fine.
Yeah.
They them. The game suck. They close them out. Not my problem. But at least it's not impacting the people that established greatness again with the PS4. If anything, they should have doubled up some of them. Like for me, Sucker Punch. At least Sucker Punch, they should have doubled them in size. Like Sucker Punch, creating one game every 5 years because that's the size of the studio, that shouldn't be a thing. They should have be like, hey, we're going to hire people. Some of you experienced Sucker Punch guys. We're going to promote you to lead positions so you can lead these new people. Now we have 2 studios. So now you guys can work on 2 projects instead of 1 and then have a concept waiting in the burner until you're done. So now that concept, hey, Team B could start working on it. Now Sucker Punch could release games every 3 years. Both games taking 6 years to develop, but because it's Leapfrog, the output from the studio is like every 3 years, even though each game is taking 6 years. You see, that's what I would have done. Like, take the strength of the PS4, double it up. If you want to add live service, I get it. Make that money. That's a strategy. It's hot. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. Invest it separately. Get your Firewalk Studios. Get your Bungies. Get your Haven Studios. The studio that did Helldivers 2. Don't let it impact the other guy. Don't force, Insomniac, Santa Monica. Don't direct them in that direction, right? And we know they did, right? Because take a look at The Last of Us. And I'll be honest. Let's be real. When Naughty Dog did the remake of The Last of Us 1, it didn't have the multiplayer. What was the damage control that everybody used? Like excusing a $70 game not having the multiplayer, which is part of The Last of Us 1. The reason was, we're getting Factions 2, so why do we need it?
Yep.
Now we don't even have Factions 2. And I'm not crying over it, but let's be real. People excuse The Last of Us 1 remake not having multiplayer because the Factions is coming. Well, guess what? You're not getting Factions either. So we should have just stuck with the Factions multiplayer from the get-go. Listen, Naughty Dog should have just done the traditional multiplayer for The Last of Us 2 and kept it pushing.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about the Puertorock? Because I'm crying about it. Fuck that. I played Factions 1 on and off for 8 years. So what's crazy? And when I heard Factions 2, the first thing I really thought about, honestly and truly, was it's gonna have all the maps from the first game, a few maps from the second game, and play just like Factions 1. That's all I fucking wanted, Porter. That's all. And leaked footage of it came out. It showed somebody playing on the lakeside map, and it looked like Uncharted 1 with updated graphics. I would have been cool with that, brother. I swear to God, I would have been. So what you're saying is 100% correct, but they chasing that endless revenue, right? Mm-hmm. And it's funny, this endless dollar, it ain't always endless, because you look at a game like Concord, which reportedly costs anywhere between $200 and $400 million to make, and it's on the market for 12 calendar days, right? Not making back nowhere near the budget, but then you got games like Horizon, a static single-player one-and-done game selling upwards of 10 to 15 million copies. So which one was a better investment at the end of the day? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, who's making it? Well, we know it was Jim Ryan. Definitely Jim Ryan. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what this dude was smoking, bro, but his whole mindset was so thrown off, bro. Like, and I'm not too sure Harman Hurst ain't on that same boat because I don't know, bro. I don't know.
So that's what's nervous, like the new guys, right? It's I'll be honest, man. Like, if I was working on Sony, I'm gonna be like, why are we going all in on something that we know more often than not fails? More often than not, live service games fails. Like, it does. It really does, right? Yep. And like, I get we want to be successful. If I was there, I get they're trying to be successful and make money. Because if it hits, it hits. I get it. But number one, let's not neglect what got us here. Let's not neglect why we have the money to make these decisions. We first have to bolster our studios. If these studios are taking 6 years to make a game, we have to double up the teams to start new projects, right? Because we're not going to get back down to 3-year development of games. That's not going to happen. I don't care what they say. If anything, it's only going to end up going from 5 years to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take longer. So the only thing you can do is, fine, we need, like Sony Ben, Sucker Punch cannot be just one development team. It has to be 3, 4, 5 development teams. You know, kind of like Call of Duty. There's a reason why Call of Duty comes out every year. It's because they have like 6 teams. Each Call of Duty game doesn't take a year to make. It takes like 3, 4, 5 years to make. But because they have like 6 teams, it seems like Call of Duty comes out every year because you have a new team getting ready for the next game in the shoot. So I thought, or I would at least hope, Sony had that same mindset. Hey, we got to get these studios to get the next game ready in the shoot. So we got to be like, hey, Sucker Punch, we're going to start hiring. You're going to have Team 1, Team 2. Sony Ben, prepare to have Team 1, Team 2. Hey, Naughty Dog, you are Golden Boy. You're going to have like 9 teams because you worked it. You deserve it. You've done nothing but bangers since the beginning. We're going to give you get a blank check. Get as many teams as you want. Like, cool, we got 6 teams. And each team's going to develop a game. Shit, we're going to be pumping out games like every 2 years because we're Naughty Dog, right? Insomniac, hell, that's pretty much what Insomniac does. They have a studio in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, and they have a studio in Santa Monica, and you see what Insomniac did. I'm going to be honest, if it wasn't from Insomniac, bro, where would
we'll be hurting right now. We'll be hurting right now.
That motherfuckers, they did good. They did good overall. They gave us games.
So, yeah. Naughty Dog do got 3 different teams. They got Team A, Team B, and I guess you'll say the multiplayer team. But with The Last of Us Part 2, for some reason, well, I guess we know why the game is so massive. But they put everybody on. They said it took over like 2,000 people to make The Last of Us Part 2, like with the contractors and whatnot. But I'm fully behind what you're saying right now. And I also had this sentiment. Why, instead of making these offbeat ass, we ain't never heard of games as a service that's never coming out, why not take these newly found teams and talent and integrate them into these other studios? Like, I still don't understand, why didn't they have Naughty Dog, I guess, just make the frame of the overall structure of Factions 2, and you could put that off to another developer, bro. Like, Sony got so many fucking employees, bro. Like, why are you not putting these people in places where these devs clearly need some assistance? These games is getting bigger and bigger by the day. I don't know, bro. I'm really confused, Puertorock. I can't fathom what they doing, brother. And they, on top of that, like what you said, why aren't you doing what got you here? And that's really my main complaint with PlayStation this generation, bro. They got here from offering a variety of games from first, second, and third party. And all them games was truly exclusive. Even the second and third party games, you wasn't getting Persona nowhere else. The mainline Persona games like Devil May Cry 1, you wasn't getting nowhere but PlayStation. Like, the variety was there. The games was there. Single player, whatever, co-op. Bro, it's just like they hopping off the porch with all this new shit. And
I would say this. So I'll say this. So some things is in my opinion, and not to damage control, I think some things were inevitable. And I'll say this. People saying that the industry is changing. And I think like the industry already changed. And I think it did back in the 360 PS3. That's when things changed. And I don't think people noticed. Because we didn't have podcasters like that. We were in the forums. YouTube was in its infancy, right? And what I mean by that, people didn't notice because before 360 PS3 generation, and I think we call Remember, the industry backed the winner. That's why Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy, Castlevania was on the PlayStation 1. Because the PlayStation 1 dominated, Nintendo fucked up with the N64. Yeah. All right, that's how it was. Whoever was the dominant console, that's it. We're making, like, multi-platform strategy wasn't a thing. It was, all right, who looks like is going to be the winner? Oh, shit. Super Nintendo looks like it's going to be the winner. Put all the games on Super Nintendo. All right, who's going to be the winner? Oh, wait a minute. PlayStation. Wait, what the fuck? And they got a disc? It's cheaper? Yeah, put everything on PlayStation 1. Oh, shit. PlayStation 2 smoking. Oh, yeah, put everything on PlayStation 2. Then PlayStation 3, 360 came, right? You got 360. It launched first, but I don't think people remember the first year of 360 launch wasn't that good. It just wasn't. Not a lot. PlayStation 2 was still outselling it, right? But when Sony announced the PlayStation 3 and it launched for $600, that was a huge shift. People were like, I'm not paying $600 for this. They just wasn't. They didn't give a fuck. They're like, we're not doing this. And then 360 launched Gears of War. So November 2006, you got a $400 console or even a $300 one, right? The arcade edition with Gears of War, or you could get a $600 PS3 for Resistance and MotorStorm. What you think is going to sell? They're not playing that shit. Everybody was buying 360s. And then the following year, Halo 3 or Uncharted 1. Now, Uncharted 1, I like it. It was good. But come on now. You especially when multiplayer was the fever, you can't compete with Halo 3 and that multiplayer. There was just no question, right? And the industry was like, wait a minute. People weren't really buying PS3s. And a lot of people buying 360s. So at a minimum, they can't make exclusives for PS3. Assassin's Creed was announced. I don't think people remember, but Assassin's Creed was originally announced as an exclusive for PlayStation 3 until Ubisoft was like, wait a fucking minute. Like, like, who's going to buy our game? No one's buying PlayStation 3s. So they made it multiplayer. And then the crazy part is it ended up running better. That was the better version, right? If you remember, listen, we got kind of jerked, right? Where's The Agent? Remember that game?
Yep.
We were promised The Agent because Sony broke the deal because Rockstar, Take-Two said, hey, Sony, your console's not selling enough. It's going to fuck us over. We got to put this game on the Xbox. We got to make it multi-platform. Sony's like, cool, but you owe us an exclusive. Cool. Sony announced it as The Agent. Where's The Agent at? There's no agent.
Yep.
I'll even take it as a multi-plat. Fuck it. But Rockstar's not on that vibe. But to me, that's when the industry changed. Because that's when you saw Devil May Cry going to Xbox. Final Fantasy went to Xbox. Hell, Virtual Fighters with the online. The PS3 version didn't even have online multiplayer for Virtual Fighters. I remember that. I was like, yo, this shit is bad. Sony's fucking up big time. Virtual Fighters went there, right? So all these games that were once exclusives to PlayStation, by force, the industry changed and be like, you know what? We're not doing this, follow the market leader no more. We're just going to put everything. And that's when the industry changed. That
was actually good for PlayStation though. That was really because they had got on bullshit back then. But I didn't even buy. I remember when the PS3 was coming out. My teachers, they knew I was a big gamer. They was like, PlayStation 3 about to come out. I'm like, hell no, I ain't buying no $600. You crazy? Like, I'm 18 years old. I'm high school. I'm like, I'm not buying that shit.
My rate is $400. The hell is you talking?
Yeah, like they bugging, bro. I'm not buying that shit. And they was on foolishness. You know what I mean? They had the newer games out. And they was new IPs, so people really wasn't messing with them like that. You had games. Even other new IPs like BioShock, I think, was exclusive to 360 originally.
It was timed, yeah.
Like, yeah, so like
Mass Effect, Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, what was it? Lost Planet. That motherfucker was hitting. 360 was spitting.
Yeah,
that shit was spitting. No doubt.
I'm thankful for that time in gaming too, because PlayStation saw that and they got on their shit after that. You know what I mean? They start really.
But now let's be honest. They created a lot of IPs, which no doubt there was a lot of games. But were they big hitters? There was only a few out of all those titles they made were big hitters, and that was like The Last of Us, Uncharted, Infamous, Demon Souls. I'll give them props for that partnership because that started the Demon Souls craze. Really, that Demon Souls craze started on PS3. Then everybody jumped on board, right? Created Dark Souls, right? But let's be honest. Things like Mag. Cool, we could talk about it, but that didn't really hit. Soulcom lost its flavor. Resistance, it was okay, but it wasn't the big hitter. Ain't nobody really fucked with Warhawk or Starhawk.
No,
it was just there was a lot of titles, but there was not a lot of hitters. You know what I'm saying? But Sony did what they did, and to be like, all right, let's just throw anything out the wall. I mean, it got bad when they did that All-Star Racing bullshit, Mod Nation races and shit. They were running out of ideas. That's when, at that point, they greenlit anything. They said, fuck it. We're in a bad position. And some people will be like, yeah, but that's cool. But that was just Sony in a bad position. I think PS4, they did it better. Because now they're like, listen, We're gonna come out with titles, but they gotta hit, and I think they did a great job. Cause think about it, man, there was multiple, like 20, like almost at least at a minimum 15 million plus sellers. I mean, Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima, them motherfuckers hit. I was like, holy shit, these dudes have 4 titles that are super plus, right? And then Gran Turismo Sport was a big one. And you know I'm not a racing guy. Fuck that racing shit, but it is what it is. GT Sport was a banger. That shit, that everybody was playing that shit. So I was like, man, Sony really, doing their thing, right? And then of course they got a few partnerships. Some worked out, some didn't. Until Dawn was fine. Hellblade, I'm still salty about, man. Only 150K. I crashed out on that one. I was like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, I bought that day one.
Yeah, I crashed. You saw my life. I crashed out. 150K? The fuck is we? And we're talking shit? and now everybody's like, oh yeah, that game wasn't interesting. Well, it was interesting 3 months ago when you were talking shit to Xbox dudes, but yeah, I guess you know how it is, right? But I'm thinking that Sony really got their first party, Here's the crazy part though. And if you remember, Phil Spencer said that for single player games don't hit as much anymore, which is why you got to focus on multiplayer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And everybody was happy that Sony went against the grain. Only for now, everybody's saying we need multiplayer. Because in my opinion, if you really want to do this live service strategy, you should have done it last gen. Because all the most played games today got created last gen or older. Fortnite was last gen. Apex was last gen. Warframe was early last gen. Madden, 2K, that shit's been most popular since the dawn of time. It's mostly old games. Right now, if it wasn't for Marvel Rivals, what new game would we be talking about right now? What new service games would we be talking about right now if it wasn't for Marvel Rivals? Yeah. Most of them failed. You see what I'm saying?
You know what it is? I think Sony just missed the window, bro. I really do. And then, because a lot of them games was before the mags or the word, they was a little bit before their time. But then if you look at a game like Concord, which reportedly been in development since 2016, which would have put it in the same time frame as a last gen game, but other games like Overwatch was popping back then, right? And everybody said it's just like a shitty Overwatch. So it just took too long to come out. Like maybe it would have had a chance, like you saying, if it came out in 2018, or something. Yeah, like
definitely before the window, bro. Definitely before the woke movement.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna be like that shit also killed it too. Cause man, bro, I'm like, yo, this game, when I first saw that game in Concord, when not the little bullshit refrigerator trailer where like a teaser and you really didn't know what the game was about. Yeah. The actual gameplay trailer, I think it was at a State of Play or something. Yo, within 10 seconds, I said this game is dead. Yo, people were mad at me. I'm like, bro, listen. I don't like, people think I did it to grift. I'm like, listen, when I said Avengers was gonna flop, it wasn't because I'm grifting, because it ended up flopping. When I said Suicide Squad is gonna flop, it wasn't because I'm grifting. It's going to flop. And so when I say Concord, I'm like, this shit is dead in the water. Everybody's mad at me, whatever. I'm like, bro, I even tell people, listen, imagine you go on a date, right? Someone hooked you up with a date, whatever. You're on a date, right? And you sit down and they look at you and the first words out of their mouth is, oh, you remind me of my ex. Bro, just get up. Yeah, it's over. Yeah. It's over. Yeah, it's over. Yeah. Don't wait. Nah. Check, please. I'm out. If that's the first thing they can say about you, it's over, bro. And that's what happened to Concord. The first thing people say, like, oh, this is Overwatch. Done. It's over.
And it looked like a rip-off Guardians on the Galaxy on top of that.
Yeah. Pack that shit up. And I get it. People say, oh, you got to play Puertorock. I'm like, listen, I'm not talking about personal preference. I'm talking about mass adoption. People are not going to play this game. And if people don't play this game, it's gonna get canceled, and you're gonna get what you call off. Even somebody in the chat, P-Rock, did you even play Concord? No, did not. Guess what? Was I wrong? No. Listen, people forget. Let me ask you a question about that. Quick question. People forget. I grew up in a gen where I had to determine if a game was good from looking at the back of the box. Did people forget?
Yeah. We used to do that.
We used to do that. I had to determine if a game was good by reading a magazine. Now, you can actually see the game. You think I can't tell a good game? By actually looking at the game? Yeah. And I get it. Some people may enjoy it. Cool. But I generally was like, listen, this game's not going to hit For the most, it's gonna flop. That's why That's why I said from this point on, I'm not gonna call. If I see a live service game, I'm not gonna give my opinion, because maybe it's just a curse. I'm gonna leave it alone. But I told people, Avengers, when that shit got shown by EA, I mean by Square, I'm like, that's not what people wanted. This is gonna flop. Oh, Puertorock, blah blah blah. Guess what? They shut the servers down. When I saw Gotham Knights, I'm like, oh my god, this is not what people wanted, bro. Puertorock, blah blah blah. Guess what? That shit flopped. Suicide Squad. I'm like, no one gives a fuck about Captain Boomerang. Like, no one's interested in killing the Justice League. Like, what? Oh my god. Puertorock. You're just a hate. Guess what? Suicide flopped. Even the company said it flopped. Concord. I'm like, forget about that shit. That shit's a wrap. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I've been looking at games for decades. I know I know what I'm talking about. But hey, anyway, what are you gonna say, bro?
This is going back to Concord. Do you feel like, and it might have still probably would have flopped, but I really feel like this game, it hurt itself from not having a single player campaign, because you wanting us to care about these characters that you showed us for 2 minutes. We don't really know shit about them for real. They look like a knockoff Guardians of the Galaxy. And then they say, oh well, we're gonna do a vignette. We're gonna do a cutscene every week when you turn the game. Who gives a shit, bro? Put it back in the oven for a year and put a single player campaign on this, so we can actually, get to know these characters and maybe care about them to go online and play with them. I just feel like this game was horribly mismanaged from the jump, bro. Like,
that might have helped. I think if they would have went the Destiny route, maybe it would have been more successful. Because that's the thing about that's one thing people don't understand about Destiny. Destiny had, even though it was all multiplayer co-op, it still had a story to make you understand the characters, understand what you're doing, understand what is the point of all this, right? And that tied into the raids, the weekly missions. It was all connected, so you understood the assignment, right? Between the story, accomplish stuff together. Because that's one thing, right? A lot of people love to play co-op and accomplish stuff together. Sometimes PvP gets annoying, right? You don't want a 12-year-old cursing out, making fun of your moms all the time. You're like, what the fuck, man? I ain't trying to hear this shit. And then you want to argue with a 13-year-old, and then you end up looking stupid, right? Sometimes you just want to get with people, accomplish some shit. That's why I think Helldivers 2 was so successful, right? Because Helldivers didn't do the PvP thing. They said, nah, we're going to get together and we're going to fucking spread democracy. And people love it. People love just getting together and just wrecking shit, right? So I think Concord may, if they would have had that story of people getting together, accomplish some shit, learn the characters, give each character an identity that can then lead to a PvP environment, a PvE environment, maybe. That may have worked. Maybe that would have been a little bit better to the game and stuff like that. I would just say this, man. When I saw that trailer, I'm like, but listen, you know what? I always default to this. You multiplayer guys have fun with it. Because I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
For me as a single player guy, I am happy with the PS5. But then again, not all guys are like me, right? Like when I see a game like Stellar Blade, I played it, I beat it, so I'm not capping. In fact, my top 3 games in 2024 was Final Fantasy, Rebirth, Stellar Blade, Rise of Ronin. So this is not cap when I said I'm enjoying the PlayStation games. Like literally, when we did the PlayStation wrap-up, I played those games. So Team Ninja games I enjoy. I love Stellar Blade. I enjoy Final Fantasy. I can't wait for Phantom Blade Zero. Lost All Aside, shit, I've been waiting for that game since 2017, right? But I was the same way with every PlayStation game, like the Devil May Cry's, Dante's Inferno. I always enjoyed those games. So it's not like I'm changing up because Sony is telling me to change up. No. I played, the Ninja Gaidens. I played the Devil May Cry's. I played the Bayonettas. I played Dante's Inferno. So all those action type games I always enjoyed. So the fact that Sony's bringing me more, I'm good. But I understand those aren't big games. Those aren't the 10 million sellers and stuff like that. I get it. You understand what I'm saying? So I understand when a person says, oh, Sony's not coming out with games. I get what they're saying. I think it's more of Sony's not coming out the games that you want. I think that's the separate. Because I'm like, bro, Stellar Blade, Rise of Ronin is out there. They're about to release Phantom Blade Zero this year. They just showed the trailer. Lost All Aside is coming out this year, right? You're not interested? I didn't buy a PlayStation for those games. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
It's a specific genre. It's a specific genre they coming out with a lot right now. Yeah, I can agree with that.
But I'm gonna say this though: they can't release a Spider-Man every year. If that's like, if the people say I bought a PlayStation for God of War, you got it. You're not gonna get the next one for another 4 or 5. That's you're not gonna get a God of War every year. It's not Call of Duty. So like if people are on PlayStation specifically for the God of War, for the Horizon, for the Spider-Man, cool. But you're not gonna get those games every year. They take 5 years to make. 4 if it's a sequel, 5 or 6 if they're doing a new one. Let's say like God of War. Let's say if they were making a God of War Egypt, that's a 6-year project. If they're gonna do it from the ground up, you're not getting that in 25. Like you're not gonna get when the God of War come out 23.
Yeah, well, the 22,
23.
22, yeah.
22.
I can't
okay,
remember. Yeah, 22,
so let's say so God of War Ragnarok 2022, and they decided, hey, we're doing a God of War Egypt, fresh from the thing. Add 6 years to that. That's 2028, bro. And if it's 2028, you know what that means? It's a cross-gen title, because that's potentially we could get a PlayStation 6 2028, maybe 2029. But you know how it is. Like you just mentioned, cross-gen title. You're not gonna get God of War Egypt in 2025 when 3 years ago they released Ragnarok. Like what are we talking about here? You understand? So if you bought a PlayStation specifically for those specific games, yeah, it's gonna suck.
You know what it is too, though. You know what it is.
It is gonna
you know what it is. You know what it is too, Puertorock, and we just touched on this too. I'm missing. And PlayStation, they still do it, but it ain't to the extent they used to. They used to really,
the indies.
Yeah, exactly. You already know I'm going with this.
I know. Listen, I know, and you know what, brother? Here's another thing. We got a lot of new people, and when I mean by new people, I'm not trying to insult the audience, but there's a lot of people that follow us now that didn't follow you in 2015, 2016, so they don't understand you. Right, so sometimes that's why, like in my videos, I try to bring back the past. And some people in my audience are like, "Yo, why you keep bringing that up? I already know that." I'm like, "Yeah, you know that, but I got new people following me that don't know that." So that's why I always gotta come out a reminder. When Jackmoove Johnny says he enjoyed 2013, 2015, because he enjoyed the indies. He loved Indiestation. So when you try to go to Jackmoove, tell him PlayStation Indiestation, that's not an insult to him. He was all about that shit. He was all about E3 having indies on stage. When everybody else is like, what the fuck is this shit? Jackmoove was like, I'm eating, dog. And they went away from that.
I miss it, man. I miss it, Puertorock, bro. I miss it, bro.
So when you say you love PS4 the first few years, everybody's like, bro, all they had was Bloodborne. They don't understand what you're talking about is the indies. Because, Sony... That's why Sony was called the Indiestation. Now, that's why I didn't really, I understood you. And I'm like, I'm not going to argue with Jackmoove Johnny, but I remember Jackmoove Johnny. But I will say this. There's a lot of dudes that back you up that are frauds. Because they weren't, Johnny, you were only one of the few that actually cared about it. You know that.
I used to get roasted. I used to get roasted bad about that,
you used to get roasted
bro.
for Indiestation, right? So, but now you got dudes agreeing with you. But I guarantee if we go back then, they were the ones saying Indiestation. They were talking shit about PlayStation's Indie Sessions, right? They remember Sparse in 2015.
Oh yeah,
Sparse.
Of course.
That was one of those like PlayStation got no games. It's Sparse. Now they're all saying, "Oh man, I can't believe Sony didn't greenlight Order 1886." Shut the fuck up. These cats act like we don't remember, bro. like, oh, how could we not get Order 1886? I get that we the few of us would love Sony to give a game a second chance and make it bigger. But let's not pretend Order 1886 didn't get ragged on. That shit it was a 63 Metacritic. That game got ripped apart. And it was 4 or 5 hours? No multiplayer?
Yeah.
The North remembers, bro. Now these dudes are like, oh my God, Sony fucked up. How could they not greenlight? Come on, bro. I was there in 2015, 2016. Order 1886, dudes wasn't giving its props. Nobody. That shit was getting ripped apart. And then if you tried to say, man, Order 86 is a great game, guess what they would say? Oh, you capping. You're just a corporate cuck. Demand better. So I remember all that. And now, 10 years later, because, people go on an interview to reflect and be like, all right, let's talk about some memories. Oh, yeah, we pitched Order 886 sequel. Sony said no. Oh, my God, Sony, here we go, fucking up again. I'm like, come on, bro. You guys didn't. Nah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to. We know why it didn't get green light. Community ripped it apart. The industry ripped it apart. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying let's remember what caused this shit, right? Man, what do you think about that? let's be honest. So you have the guys that are switching, doing what Sony says, but do you also see guys who are switching the Sony sucks only because they chasing the algorithm, or what? How you feel about that? It's definitely, this dude's chasing the algorithm.
yeah. It's definitely some revisionist history going on. Me personally, I did like the order, but we gonna keep it 100. It did have its problems. Yeah, it was like a 60 on Metacritic. I'm not too well. I would have liked to see a sequel, of course, but I'm not surprised they didn't greenlight it. Like the game fucking flopped. Like it did horribly. Like, you know what's crazy about the Order 1886? I went out in a fucking snowstorm to buy this game day one at Best Buy, bro. Went to Best Buy, slipping in the slow, all type of shit. Bro.
Oh, you crazy.
Matter of fact, I brought it home. I played it a little bit, took like an 8-hour fucking nap, and then played it again and beat the whole game before. I beat the game within like 10 hours real time, bro. And I went to sleep for like 6-7 hours, bro. It was crazy shit. I traded the game in the next day, Puertorock. This shit was crazy, bro. Like, but bought it full price, traded in next day. I can't make this shit up. But
oh shit. That's crazy.
I did enjoy the order, man, but it's definitely a lot of revisionist history going on around this joint. Like you said, people, not indie games, the bees knees, people can't get enough of them. When I was repping, the indies heavy, I was getting ridiculed and roasted. Where y'all was at the hell? I didn't feel like it was all these people behind me, shouting from the mountaintops like I was. So it's funny you say that. It just this community, bro. It's just. My biggest issue with people are just disingenuous, bro. If people just truly, whether I agree with you or disagree with you, if you just say how you truly felt, I would never have an issue with you, bro. It's just a whole bunch of frauds in this community, bro. And they've been here forever, but they just switch to, like, the most popular people in this community don't play no goddamn games. They ain't got no footage of them playing games. You ain't never seen them buy a game, post a game. Like, how did... Hey, man, you already know what's going on, dog.
And what's funny is, like, those of us that are honest and keeps it real, like me, I'm really honest about the multiplayer. And I try, like Helldivers. It was a hit. It was co-op. I said, all right, I'm going to give it a try. But I'm going to be honest, after like 6 hours, I'm like...
Are you EMS with it?
No. It's not because... Here's the thing. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm not really into... I don't even play multiplayer like Madden anymore. Or MLB. Madden, I used to be big on Madden. And I stopped. Doing it, right? And the main reason is I'm really not into scheduling my time around other people. That's really what it is. Right? In order to enjoy multiplayer, it's really around other people, right? Getting up with a crew, right? Yeah. Randoms ain't that good, right? Or you have to dedicate time to be competitive so you can enjoy the game. Like Madden, you can't enjoy Madden if you're always getting your ass whooped. That's not fun. So you have to dedicate hours to perfect your craft, get really good at it, so that way when you play online, you're winning. I don't want to do that no more. I don't want to do practices and study plays and get good and do all this stuff so I can beat some random dude online just to do it over again and over again and over again. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying I'm just done with that. I'd rather play a game that I start and finish and then move on to the next game. That's all I want to do. I just want to start a game and beat a game.
Yeah, I feel that.
Next. Start a game and I can do that anytime. If I want to wake up at 1 a.m. and do it, I could do it at 1 a.m. I could do it at 2 in the afternoon. I could do it on my days off. I just want to boot up a game, play it, beat it, enjoyed it. Next bitch. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to marry no one. I just want to go through the holes. Run them through. You know what I'm saying? But I really don't want to, like, even Helldivers, even though it's co-op, you have to put in the hours to get the gear, set this shit up so you can do better, perform. Listen, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get better from nobody. I just want to play through the story, progress through it, see the ending. All right, what's the next title? That's the point I am in my life. That's why really the whole multiplayer thing, it's not a thing for me. I don't want to, I don't want to talk shit in Madden. I moved on from that. Even Street Fighter. I even bought a competitive controller for Street Fighter, right? So that way, because I love Street Fighter, but this gen, I not even Street Fighter. I didn't buy Tekken, and I used to buy all the Tekkens. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy Mortal Kombat. Like anything that involves me training, putting in hours to get better, to compete with somebody, I'm just not interested in that anymore. And that's the reason why I'm not in multiplayer. I'm not interested in dedicating hours to get good at skill to beat another person. I just want to beat games and go on to the next one. That's really what it is. But I understand, everybody else still into that because I was used to be into that. I used to love play Madden, play Call of Duty, all that shit. Street Fighter was something I used to play all the time. I love whooping people's ass in Street Fighter. And, of course, I took my licks too. I enjoyed all of that. But now, bro, I don't know. It's just not in it. Like,
I feel that.
I don't have the pride to say I whooped some random dudes online. I really don't care. I just want to enjoy, I don't know, just enjoy the single player games and shit like that. Let me tweet this out. So, tweets up live, everybody. Hey, I know everybody. Let me read some super chats real quick. But if you guys could hit the like button and retweet this out, because I know everybody wanted Jackmoove Johnny. He was the popular choice. I hope y'all guys wasn't expecting that I was gonna curse him out, because that's not what this live is about. I'm not doing it. Like I hope that's not what they thinking. Like, you come in this show, what the fuck, Johnny? You the pony commissioner, do your goddamn job. Like, listen, this ain't the Xbox Discord.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. You know what I'm saying? That shit is wild and stuff like that, right? But let me ask you this, right? Some of the complaints, you have had, let's say like cross-gen, right?
Okay.
And I agree, there's a lot of cross-gen titles, right? But I think, in my opinion, it was a consequence, or not even a consequence. It was a byproduct of something we probably didn't really talk about last gen, when Sony went from the PS3 to the PS4, and they went x86. I don't think any of us, because there was not a lot of tech talk back then. Like, tech talk wasn't a big thing like it was with 2020, or at least I think it started with the first mid-gen refresh. That's when everybody knew about AMD technology and silicon fabrication. I don't know where everybody learned it from, but apparently everybody was an expert on silicon fabrication. But 2013 wasn't really a lot about the tech talk, so no one really talked about Sony and Xbox adopting x86. No one really talked about that, right? Like, everybody's like, oh yeah, it makes sense. PC users are cool. But I don't think anybody back then predicted, like, wait a minute. If every console from here on out is x86, then it's technically like PC in the sense that there really is no generations. Because x86, like, that's why PC has the largest backwards compatibility in gaming. Because x86 transcends generations. It's like you could play a game from 20 years ago on PC. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think none of us talked about that. None of us realized, wait a minute. You could technically play a PS4 game on your PS8. Like, nothing. It's all... Like, now we're blurring the lines of what a generation really means once you adopt x86. That means, like, if we think cross-gen is bad now, in my opinion, it's going to get worse with the PlayStation 6. Because to me...
Oh, absolutely.
The PlayStation 5 came out better than the PlayStation 4. And I think we both remember PlayStation 4, the Jaguar cores, it wasn't really that powerful. But whatever. I think the PlayStation 5 is a good console, hardware-wise and technology-wise, right? I'm not going to say monsters eat breakfast, but the shit it could do, performance mode, it's a good console. And because it's a good console, I think people are going to stay on that console longer over time, right? It doesn't sound like a jet engine like the PS4 did during its final days. You understand? The UI is smooth. It's fast. You saw your upload speeds. I think you showed a picture. Like, PS4 wasn't doing that shit. There was always problems with download upload speed. Like technology-wise, PS5 is a good piece of gear, which means people are going to enjoy it longer, which means companies are going to do cross-gen longer. Because if there's still a lot of people playing the PlayStation 5 when the PlayStation 6 is out, you're not going to cut them out. It's x86, and you don't need to. It's x86. So I think if there's people who don't like what's happening now, you're going to hate it during the PlayStation 6. And it's going to get even worse for the PlayStation 7. Dudes really better think about the future. What do you think?
It's definitely going to get worse as time goes on, because we're going to keep getting diminishing returns. My whole thing with the cross-generation, I got two problems with the cross-generation, right? Like, games like Horizon and God of War Ragnarok, I really attribute them games to, like, PS4. Like, them PS4 games, they glorify PS4 games. Matter of fact, I could have swore they said they was developing Forbidden West for the PS4, and then when, of course, PS5 came out, they, whatever they did with that. But I just feel like it does lower it lowers what a game can do, man. I think it lowers the ceiling for a game, as far, because it still got to run on a base PS4, and it's gonna hold it back some type of technical way. You know what I mean? And it's just the way they rolled out the PS5, man. They was, these games are only possible due to the power of the PS5, and they can only be ran with a DualSense controller. They was selling us a lot of bullshit. P-Rock. Matter of fact, I remember me and Blaze, we did a live reaction to like the future of gaming, whatever presentation when they showed the Forbidden West, the Miles Morales God of War, when they announced all this stuff. We was like, yo, we can't wait. You know what I mean? Games is dope. After the presentation go off, y'all heard they just announced all these games can run on PS4. We was like, what the fuck? Huh? No way. Like, bro, y'all, nobody knew that until they actually did. We was like, wait a minute. Jim Ryan just came up here and told us these games. So that really threw me back. Like, bro, what did you talking about? Then the games can only be played with a DualSense controller. But if you play them same games, the PS5 versions on a PC, you can use a DualShock 4 controller with the same game. Matter of fact, if you remote play your PS5,
you can use the Xbox controller.
That's what I'm saying. So
remember that was the meme? Like they show God of War and then they show a picture of the Xbox controller.
Yeah, like so what is y'all telling me, bro? So I felt like I was just lied to person. That really what pissed me off. Start this whole generation because I was hyped as fuck for the PS5. You can go back and look at my unboxing video. You know what I mean? I still enjoyed the launch lineup, but that's one of my problems, man. It's just I feel like a lot of these games is feeling like glorified PS4 game. Of course, it's gonna be like that, right? It ain't gonna be too different, but it's like I feel like it's holding a lot of these games back. I just feel like, and then we got the PS5 Pro. I don't feel like my PS5 has been maxed out fully yet. I'm probably not gonna feel like that until Intergalactic come out. You know what I mean? I don't feel the need to upgrade right now. So that's one of my issues. My other issue, this is actually a bigger issue than that first one. With the x86 architecture, right? Mm-hmm. Why do games like The Last of Us Part 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, and just announced the other day, Days Gone Remastered? Why do these games fucking exist, brother? It's crazy, bro. Days Gone literally got a patch to coincide with the release of the PS5, and they gave Days Gone away for free with your PS5 purchase. Why the fuck are they remastering this game, bro? It's not needed. It's just not needed. That's my issue. I don't know, man.
I made a video on that, on the whole remake thing, right? But before I touch on that, let me do these super chats, to respect the thing. First, I'm gonna read a super chat from a video I did a premiere. It was left, so I want to read it now. It's a little bit off topic, but I want to give respect to the people who support the channel. I really appreciate you guys. But from another video, Face23BKNY left a super chat, $20. Thank you so much. But he said Brand Sam's, and the topic was PlayStation remake. In fact, actually it is about the topic I'm about to talk about. This actually is a segue. The title of the video was PlayStation remakes are not funding new games. Anyway, the super chat says Brad Sam, who is an Xbox guy, going back and forth with Jez over this tweet is hilarious. Sony shipping 9.5 million units during the holiday quarter, while Xbox hardware dropped 29% shows it's a Xbox problem, not a demand problem. I'll be honest. Let me touch on that real quick. Brad Sam's making that point. I'm thinking, finally. But you know what? We're going to leave that. We're going to finish our point, and I'm going to talk to you about that, the whole industry shifting, right? But to talk about what you're talking about, these remakes, and it's going the next podcast with the crew is going to be interesting because I want to get their view. But I feel these remakes, part of it, right, is two things, right? Obviously, you're going to get new people onto PlayStation, right? And I mean, there's the thought idea of you want them to play the best version of a game they never get to play for. I'm like, all right. I mean, you could technically just provide a free upgrade like third party does. I'm not saying we're entitled to the free upgrade, right? But that's what third party does, right? Third party does these PS5 patches so that way the people, they do it and they do it for free. So clearly it can be done and it's not that really big of a deal, right? But in my opinion, again, I say this is my opinion, I think these remakes, part of it was a mitigating strategy for any potential loss in their live service strategy. Because when you think about it, right, these remakes are easy to do. They're not hard because, again, third party does it all the time and they give it for free, right? But remasters. I keep saying remake, but remasters. These remasters, right, they're easy to do. They're upgrades because third party provides it for free, right? So you do a remaster, charge $40 or you charge $10 to the current users who bought the game. That's some change. It's not going to be a whole lot of change depending how well the game sells, but it is some money, right? And that money could be to offset any potential losses from live service. And it's just offsetting, not completely offsetting. Because I personally don't buy, and I would like your opinion on this, I do not buy the bullshit that a remaster helps fund new games. I'm
Absolutely
sorry, I'm not buying that. Because these remasters aren't selling that much. They're not selling that much.
On top of that, all these remasters we getting. What new game? All you gotta ask, what new games did they produce? What new games did they fund to produce? Like, we ain't seen no. It's like when PC niggas be like, "Yeah, Sony, they sell the port and it help fund more games for you." What more games, motherfucker? We still getting the same. Arguably, we getting less games. What games did go on the PC fund? What are y'all talking about? Like,
these
this is bullshit,
these
bro.
PC gamers act like they're doing us a favor. Like, bitch, you ain't doing shit for us.
Yeah, they be killing me with that shit, bro.
I tell people, these games going to PC is not for the PlayStation console. Yeah, it is just for new games. No, whatever change Sony makes from PC is going to shareholder pockets. It's not going back into game development. That doesn't make sense. Like right now, they just released their Q3 numbers, right? And I know people like, oh, Q3, what are we talking about? No, because there's some factual information. They just revealed that non-PlayStation platforms produced $865 million, which just sounds great. But I'm like, wait a minute. Spider-Man 2 by itself in 3 months, just on PlayStation, made $770 million. So you're telling me, and think about it, when they say non-PlayStation platforms, that's PC and all the games Sony made on Steam, released on Steam and Epic Game Store. So think about it. Think of all the games that's already there. Spider-Man 2, God of War, Horizon, Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, Days Gone, and whatever the hell else I'm missing. Until Dawn, all of that. Then you add Xbox. Xbox got MLB The Show and Destiny. And then you add Nintendo. Nintendo got MLB The Show and Horizon Lego. Didn't sell a lot, but so those are the non-PlayStation platforms. All of those combined, $865 million. Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation by itself in 3 months, $770 million. So you're telling me one game can't fund the next Spider-Man, but all these are... No, stop it. That $865 million is just going to a shareholder pocket. It's not going to new games.
Of course.
Let's just stop. Can we just be honest? Because if you can't make games like Horizon sold like what, 20 million. Last of Us 2 said 10 plus million. God of War said 10 plus million. Gran Turismo 7 sold 15 million. Oh yeah, we can't fund games. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You can't fund games, but then when I look at PC, Spider-Man 1 sold 1.5 million. Then what the fuck are we gonna do with that?
That's what pisses me off about all this shit too. Like you said, a Horizon Zero Dawn selling 15 million is not a success, but it sells 800,000 on PC now. It's a glowing. Like, bro, what the fuck are we talking about?
Final Fantasy 16. Oh, I didn't mean expectation on PlayStation. That's why I go multi-plat. 3 million in a week is not enough. Failed. All right, goes to PC. 265,000. The fuck is we talking about? Like you see what I'm saying? Listen, I get it. Listen, I get it. Third party, Sony wants to make more money to put in shareholder pockets. Just say that. Do not lie to me saying, oh, it's going to help fund more games. Stop it. Just say the quiet part out loud. Shareholders are greedy, or not even greedy. They do what shareholders do. They want their wallets fast. Listen, those Lamborghinis don't pay for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So just say that, and I'm cool with that. I get it.
So you bring up a good point. And I want to ask you about this. So, and look, we're not stupid. Nobody's turning down $800 million extra dollars for Port. Like, come on, we see what's going on. It's money at the end of the day, right? So, but this is my thing, Puertorock. Let's just say, and we know it's coming. We just don't know when. Day and date, right? Day and date. When day and date end up happening, is that money? The way I see it, the best case scenario, in my opinion, the shit offsets the money they're gonna lose from selling these games on console, right? Because we got a large portion of gamers. They might own a PC and a PlayStation. Only thing they're gonna do is, I'm not buying it on PS5. I buy it on PC. They making the same. What I'm saying,
because they have to get that 30% to Steam now.
They actually are making less at that point. But I'm saying, best case scenario, in my opinion, I could be wrong. I think they gonna really just offset the losses they taking on the console. So I don't, what? I'm not a businessman. I ain't gonna even get into it.
So
bro.
I'm not even gonna talk to business. I'm gonna talk to just me as a gamer. And people think I'm capping when I said I'll just go to PC if Sony does that. If Sony says, hey, 100% ecosystem, the same bullshit words that Microsoft use. This is the reason why. And people, this is the reason why. I'm going to explain this, okay? If Sony goes day and date across the board, same ecosystem, they put PC and PlayStation on the same platform, same consideration, there's certain steps that needs to be taken. Number one, your development studio is now full-fledged same-day multi-plat studio. And what that means is, let's say Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog now has to put the same energy, equal energy, into the PC versions of their games, just like the console. And if anything, they may have to put a little bit more energy. Reason why is PC has a lot more configurations. You got to worry about DLSS. You got to worry about FSR. All these other technologies that AMD and NVIDIA brings out, right? And then you have to worry about Intel. You have to worry about AMD. You got to worry about all these configurations. You might have to put more consideration on PC if you want the games to release the same day, and every copy of the game generally runs well. That means Naughty Dog is going to put a little bit more attention on the PC than their own console, because they'd be like, we got the console, we know how it works pretty well, we helped design it, we're gonna do it, but PC, we gotta make sure, yeah. And then also there's certain things PC can do that console can do, so we gotta do ultra wide screen, we gotta do all this, PC has this, so we gotta add that, because if we don't, PC gamers aren't gonna be happy. We gotta give
all the bells and whistles.
You gotta do it. Listen, you gotta do it. You gotta cater to, if you're gonna say, hey, PC gamers, we're putting your games day one, you gotta. They'll
boycott it if you don't. They'll boycott it if you don't.
Yeah, so you got to do it. So you got to do all these things. While the console is going to be like, hi, and then it gets worse. Because now, with that strategy, the future consoles has to be built with PC in mind. That they'd be like, all right, let's build the PlayStation 6. Hey, the PlayStation 6 can do this. Let's try to do this. That really doesn't mesh well with same-day multi-plat development with PC. So, we're not going to do that. We're not going to add that.
They got to streamline it.
That makes it harder for us to streamline the process. So we're not going to do this. We're going to, in fact, if anything, consoles will be closer to more PC-like, so that way they can streamline the entire process. So in the end, what do you get as a console gamer?
A shitty PC.
You get nothing out of this deal. That's why Xbox is the way it is. Let's all not cap and say Microsoft really put their Xbox on the back burner. Like, they didn't even bother to do holiday deals. They just they still haven't done what PlayStation does with the VRR high frame rate performance options. They don't even bother to add that anymore. Like, Sony has it on their first party. How come Microsoft didn't do it? Because they don't give a shit. And that will eventually happen with the PlayStation. They will streamline. They will force the console to be more streamlined with the PC to make the development process for multi-platform games easier. So at that point, if the console and PC is streamlined to do the same thing, you really jerking.
You know what else?
Getting the console.
You know what else? You know what else too? And we kind of saw this with Helldivers too as well. Don't let them numbers be comparable. If they do a day and day scenario, do not let them fucking numbers be comparable, man. Because you think the PlayStation gonna take a back seat to development day and day, it's gonna really be bad, bro. You talking about second class citizens? Y'all see how they be doing Xbox, bro? Some games don't even launch on fucking Xbox, but they first party games. Like, we gonna be getting that same treatment, bro. I'm telling y'all, dog.
That's why I said, listen, just look at Xbox. Look what happened. Them going day and day on PC was the worst decision they made. And I know there's a lot of people that cap saying, oh my God, it's the best decision of that company. Bro, you as a console owner, that decision was terrible. You didn't get more games. What you did was you got a company that focused on another platform, and your platform, they just let it run on its own. Whatever happens, happens, all that stuff, right? And that's why I say, if Sony does this day and date decision, it's slowly going to be more about streamlining the process to get the games on everything. And if that happens, the console will not get advantages in the term is bespoke technologies unless it's easily adaptable on PC. So if you got a great technology that would have made the console look great, but makes multi-platform development on PC harder, they're not going to co-sign that technology. They're going to be like, we're not going to do that, because if we do that, it's going to be a pain in the ass to translate on PC. Right now, it's all about making it easier, so that way we can make both games, get it out there as easy as possible, and that's not an advantage to the console. It's not.
Nope.
So that's why I said if Sony goes this route, like sure, now there's still advantages at a basic level. Like if all you really care about is a machine that you can easily press power and boot up and play games, yeah, console's always going to be that console. If that's all you're worried about, you'll be fine. You'll be fine with I pick up a controller, hit the button, it boots up, and you play what you play, right? But if you're used to getting that specific service, that specific focus, new technologies, I'd be like, hey, this
free
is
PSN, free PSN.
You ain't getting that shit. That shit's out the window. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, and that's why I would say. So if people think, oh, you're capping PC, it's not about you. You got to understand, what happens when a company goes full multi-plat. They have to change their processes. They have to change their development practices. They have to rethink how they build the next console. Because make no mistake, the next console will be built. If they do that, the next console will be built to streamline multi-platform processes. That's what businesses do.
They already getting us ready for it. You can see they already started to bend and break and fold. And look, they bending the knee, bro. All that PlayStation, PSN is required. All this day one. You see, they already reverted back on that, bro. Like they already getting themselves in a position to where PC gamers will, because PC, one thing we might not like PC gamers, they stand on business, bro. Whether it be they might pirate the game or they just won't buy it. They do not support these. Like they say they're not gonna buy it. They really don't do that shit. So they already getting it ready for some type of day-and-day situation, and it really don't even benefit Sony from an ecosystem standpoint because they can't make PSN mandatory. They already not charging for PSN on PC. Like I don't see I really don't see what the benefit is.
And they can't open. I could maybe understand if they're ready to launch their own store, and now they're gonna try to take on the PC market.
It's not going to get supported.
They're not going to.
It's not going to get supported.
And even if they did, PC gamers are going to. The Steam is king on that motherfucker. Like, well, get the fuck out of here. They don't even want to log on for free. You think they're going to buy your games on your own store? Boy,
Absolutely
if you don't
not.
cut that bullshit. If you don't cut that bullshit out,
right?
So
they would have had that. They would have had to came in with that. If they would have started this whole PC initiative with a PSN store, yes, exactly. It
would have made a little bit more sense. Then I'd be like, I see what Sony's doing. They're like, nah, we the king of console. We're gonna be the king of PC. Yep. Gonna fail, but at least it makes sense. But this don't make sense.
It's too late now. They can't even try no shit like that now. It's over.
No, they can't even bring that up, right? So I agree. I agree with that. Like, it is what it is, right? But this is why I tell gamers, right? At the end of the day, to me, and this is how I always looked at things. Every generation to me is a new contract. I don't care what I bought last gen or the gen before, whatever. It's what you're gonna do for me the next gen. And if your shit is trash the next gen, hey, I enjoy what I enjoyed, but right now, the Switch 2, I'm actually looking forward to the Switch 2. I want to see what they have. I don't really have high standards. Really, for me, 1080p 60. Nice, clean 1080p 60. I'm good. I'm there day one. I'll buy it. Just because I didn't really like the Switch or the Wii U or even the Wii doesn't mean I won't give the Switch 2. Every generation's a new contract for me. If I like what you're doing, I got you. I'm going to buy it. If I don't like what you're doing, then that's it. Sorry. I'll skip out on this gen, see you next gen and stuff like that. And that's that. And I would say every gamer should be like that. Every gamer should look at every gen as a new contract. What are you doing? At least, PC gamers are fine because there's really no generation. But on console, you got to be honest with yourself. Because in the end, if you're on this for this team green, team blue bullshit, you're only fucking yourself. You're not really doing anything. You're not really doing it. You log on the internet, oh, we bleed blue, we bleed green. What the fuck are you doing? Like, who are you antagonizing? We're a bunch of strangers on the internet. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you're the one stuck at home 24/7 with that thing, right? Are you really happy? Like, are you really happy having a console and you have to ask, why is Black Myth Wukong not on my console? How about asking yourself, damn, am I really on the right console? If every day I have to wake up and say, man, this third-party game's not on my console. Man, another one. Maybe ask yourself, am I really on the right console? That's it. Really ask yourself that. Because if you have to argue for games every day, how about you just reflect and be like, you know what? Maybe this is not the right price. And same thing with PlayStation. If you're like, PlayStation doing this, PlayStation doing that. If you're really arguing every day and unhappy with your shit every day, right? And you're not really enjoying it, maybe you should ask yourself what product will really make me happy. And that's really what most gamers is, bro. But it's just bugged out and stuff like that. Okay, let me do the super chat. Let me continue. Glassdoor Gamer Strickland included accessories revenue in his analysis for the amount of consoles sold, and Tom Warren called them out. You can't make this stuff up. Yo, I'm gonna be honest, man. I still enjoy like the shit talking in consoles when it comes to numbers, and I'm gonna tell you why. I know some people say, "Oh man, you're too old for this shit." Let me explain to you why I love numbers and industry data. Right? I'm gonna tell you why. It's not because I'm a nerd. It's because I enjoy seeing the response from people. Because I'm like, all right, let me see how good this person is with numbers, and I'm surprised how people suck with math. That's really it. That's really Jack. Call me a sadist. I don't know why, but when a motherfucker doesn't know 1 + 1 is 2, I'm like, how the fuck? How the fuck do you live life? That's really it, Johnny. That's why like these numbers things I do it on Twitter, because really, what I'm really interested in seeing is, do these guys have logic? Because the way I see it, if you suck at logical math, then you shouldn't be talking this gaming stuff, because you're not smart at all. You know, that's really it. That, and maybe you can say that's weird. Listen, Twitter ain't fun anyway. You know, it's a piece of shit app anyway. Yeah. So I get whatever fun I could get out of it. I'm not gonna learn anything on that app, so I don't use it as educational tools. I just use it for the fuckery, right? Which is funny. So when I do these numbers, and motherfucker comes out with some, not like, bro, you got dudes now arguing that 7% margin is not good. I'm like, hold the fuck up. What the fuck? What? Like, what the fuck do you know? Yo, Jackmoove, I'm dying here. I'm like, bro, you didn't even know Xbox games was going to PlayStation. Now you want to talk margins? 7% is not enough? Says who? You? Jackmoove. Oh, man, it's crazy. Disaster with the super chat. Didn't say nothing, but thank you so much for the support. Patrick Allen, let's go Xbox. That's right. Let's go Xbox right onto PlayStation. You got it, dog. Oh, now I'm playing. Oh, man. Glinzer says, from commissioner to criticizer, but Sony needs it. Absolutely, man. Good criticism. Like, listen, we were all, at some point or another, many of us, if you're a fan of a product, did criticize it. You have to. There's no way you could be a fan of a product and not criticize. You know what was one of my biggest criticism? But there was no YouTube at the time. I didn't do YouTube at the time. But you know what was my biggest criticism? That I got blocked from the PlayStation forum. I got blocked. Like, they blocked me. What was that? Like, they shut down my account. You know what it was? I asked a simple question. And now you would think I would curse them out. I didn't. I simply asked the admin, like, listen, when the PlayStation 3 launched, you guys removed Rumble because you said it was last gen. So I have a question. When I play co-op, because, you know, PlayStation 3 was still early in infancy, so I was still playing with my boys in the house. And I said, in MLB The Show, you guys added Rumble to let the person know you were pitching outside the strike zone. So you didn't have to have the circle on the screen because you're playing side by side. So you don't want the person to know where you're pitching, what the zone. You know, you think of the pitcher's box, right? The old days, you had the little arrow, you know, the little ball, but obviously the person next to you could see that. So they know where you're pitching to. When they did the Rumble, you were able to take that away and you let the Rumble tell you if you're outside the strike zone. So then I put that conversation on the chat. I said, hey, since you took the Rumble, now we have to go back to the dot. But the person next to me will see where I'm pitching. So you took away the full aspect of baseball. What are you going to do to remedy this? Blocked. Yo, you would think they'd be like, damn, my bad. You know what? We're going to look into this. Nope. Blocked.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I asked a simple question on gameplay. Like, what? Now when I play with somebody, they're going to know if I pitch low and outside, they're going to see it because that's where I put my dot at. When I put low and outside, the controller will lightly rumble. I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit out the strike zone. Good. And the player next to me didn't know I was doing that. You literally de-evolved the show. What are we doing here? And I got blocked. Literally, they blocked my account. I couldn't log on. Whoa, I was like, get the fuck out of here. That shit was wild, bro. So like, I'm like, this shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I think everybody at a certain point, you had to criticize some stupid shit. You had to. There's no way you couldn't criticize your own brand, because if you're a fan of your console and you never criticized it, then you're just a cuck.
Like, I
You're
always,
just a
I always,
complete cook.
I always equate it to like sports, P-Rock. Imagine you watching like your team, the Yankees, or you watching the, and you never have a complaint, but y'all get bounced out the first round of the playoffs every year. Like, eventually you gonna say something like, "Bro, what the fuck is the coach doing?" You gonna have a complaint about something, brother. Like,
I complain
that don't mean it
every
ain't the
day.
team.
That's the thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, that 5th inning in the World Series hurt, bro. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Aaron Judge can't catch a fly ball? The fuck is we doing here? Like, y'all, like, Knicks. Oh, my God, that team, like, they're doing much better now. They come down, they come up, they're doing great, right? But you're right. When you're a sports team, you criticize the management.
Everything.
Everything. I criticize the goddamn third base coach. Look at the Giants. What the fuck is we doing? Goddamn, you give us Saquon to keep fucking Danny Dimes, and then you get rid of him anyway. Man, fuck this organization. You know what I'm saying? But that's the truth. You gotta criticize the same thing. Like me, I know. We'll let me do one more. Raymond Rodriguez, DG remasters cause Ben needs to bring in money. Like, you know, but you know what? Let's finish that point. So I agree. But let me ask you this. What is this remaster going to do that the first game didn't do? You're telling me this remaster is going to sell 8 million? 8 million people are going to buy this game now. This game is not going to sell 8 million like the first one. It's not. And I think the Jackmoove, that's where we're going along. Like, how is this whole idea of we need remasters to refund new games when the remasters don't even sell anywhere near the original? So, like, I get it brings in money, but in my opinion, it brings in money for their live service strategy or to do something. Like, Sony Ben really got fucked over. Sony Ben and Bluepoint really got fucked over with this live service strategy. Because right, about a month ago or like a few weeks ago, it got revealed that the projects got canceled, right? Their big projects got canceled. So what do they do now? We're not going to get a game from them this gen. At best, I told people at best, if they decided to do a remake, let's say Bluepoint, because they did the Demon Souls remake in 3 years. So let's say they decided to say, all right, we got to do something quick, Bloodborne remake. We'll get it out in 3 years. All right, cool. 3 years from now is 2028. That could potentially be a cross-gen game if they release the PlayStation 6 in 2028. You see what I'm saying? So at a minimum, Sony Ben, and then let's say if Sony Ben does an Uncharted 1 remake, let's say they go that route for whatever reason, I don't know, full-blown remake. They just grab any shit, right? And they could do that in 3 years. Again, 2028. So the earliest we're going to get games from these two studios is 2028. And that's if they do a remake. If they decide to do a new project built from the ground up, even if it's single player, and they need 5 years, that's 2030. That is PlayStation 6.
Wasn't that a rumor too? Wasn't that a rumor that they had an original? I could have sworn it was two things I heard. First of all, I heard that Ben Studios making like 2 games. We know one got canceled. Was the other one remake a remaster? That's one thing. The second thing is I could have swore Bluepoint got rumored to be making their own original IP. So what happened with that?
Yo, Bluepoint, that shit. I remember it was supposedly a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake.
Yep, I remember that.
And then it got converted to a Bloodborne remake. And then it went to a Bloodborne 2 sequel, new up. And then I also heard, oh no, it's going to be a new original IP. Only to find out it was a live service God of War. I'm going to say this. PlayStation Insider. I'm not a PlayStation Insider. I don't push inside information. I never did that. I never really into that.
They cook,
but the ones that do, they suck. They fucking suck.
Horribly.
Yo, they make up shit. They ain't got no goddamn connections like the Xbox. That's one thing I give the Xbox dude, and that's only because Phil and them is open. They're willing to do it.
But bro, you know what's crazy though? If you look at it, a lot of people that's like tied in with Xbox, they be on PlayStation shit more PlayStation dudes. It's like, what the hell? They be leaking like legit PlayStation shit sometimes. Like, how did they get this information?
It's crazy, bro. Do, right? Like, yo, man, we need Mystic Ryan, bro. Get the fuck on your game and leak some shit. Like, what's going on here? Like, yo, I'll be honest, man. Bro. PlayStation cats are the worst. Like the PlayStation content creators that supposedly are in the industry, they suck. Like, none of them get it right. Like, yo, like Bluepoint, we were way off, man. They weren't even making a single player game, period. They were live service in a live service God of War. Like, did people not remember Ascension? Ain't nobody playing that shit. Like, man, bro, whoever came up with these ideas, man, if I was king for a day, if I was on that table, I would be side-eye. I would be like this. Like, my eyes would be twitching. I you know what it is? Yo, Jackmoove, imagine me and you in a room, and some nerd raise up, oh, yeah, we're going to have Blue Point, you know, and the strategy is for them to create a live service based on the God of War, you know, franchise. I would be like this. You would think I'm catching a stroke. I would be like this.
Bro, me and you both.
I would be like, me and you would be like this, like tweaking, bro. We'd be like, what? Who? I'd be like, who is you? Where did you come from? Like, fire that dude, bro. That's the stupidest idea ever. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
That's what PlayStation need a panel of about 15 to 20 people that's just like really just gaming for real, bro. That's like in the community, like bring us in.
Yo, they need to
hire some ideas. I'm telling you, bro, we had that thing right, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
Yo, what's that show, Shark Tank? They need to have that, and we the judges.
Man.
You know, so because, bro, you know, they need like me, you, Barry, all of us, right? And they come up, yeah, we have a great idea. We're going to take Blue Point, and you know, but do it like, what is it, the Mr. Beast? His game show they had on Amazon where they have to stand on a platform and we hit a button, get the fuck out. You know what I'm talking about? That game show, like each of us has a button and majority wins. They go, oh yeah, we're going to have Blue Point and they're going to do a live service game. I'm already voting them out. The moment you say live service in Blue Point, my votes dump them. Everybody dumps them, all of a sudden the chute opens and in the trash, bro. Next. Just get them the fuck out of here. Don't come up with no stupid shit like that. Like, bro, like, I don't understand this shit, bro. They really trying to throw shit at the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit, like, yo, that shit is crazy, bro. That shit is wild, man. Let me ask you this real quick, right? And I know you've seen it. Industry is changing. Do you feel the industry is changing? Like, you know what they're talking about. Oh, man, exclusives is over. It's not about consoles. It's about engagement. You know, what are your thoughts on all that conversation?
I think the gaming media definitely pushes narratives. The talking heads, bro. And I ain't got no problem with Paris. He cool. The Parises of the world, the Greg Millers. I think they do heavily influence the shit that these companies do. Like, if you even go back and look at the crossplay situation with PlayStation, and if you remember, PlayStation did originally want to do crossplay anyway with Xbox and all this, and Xbox turned them down because they say Xbox is a closed platform. They don't do that, right? Come back years later, Xbox ain't got no market share for real, and PlayStation is, you know, top dog. And all of a sudden, oh, can we please play Fortnite and Apex Legends together? And PlayStation was kind of like, you know, not really, man. Like, we good, bro. Like, we cool. What happened? Greg Miller. Oh, this is incredibly tone deaf, and I can't believe PlayStation operating like this. Look, they complained about that shit for a good 3 to 4, 6 months, bro. All of a sudden, PlayStation they start bending and folding. They I don't know why they do this, but like, you know, Destin Legary, Ron McCaffrey, they at first exclusives was great, right? When Microsoft first acquired Activision Blizzard, exclusive games was great. Xbox returned to the exclusive game, and PlayStation ain't getting none of this shit. Now, when they start to see everything is trickling everywhere, now exclusives are trash for the why you don't want gamers playing great games everywhere. It's like, what the fuck? So yeah. I see it, bro. I definitely see it.
When Microsoft got Bethesda, they were hyping Elder Scrolls as exclusive. Elder Scrolls 6, right? Fallout, all the future games, ABK, and no one had a problem. In fact, it was expected. Even I, in the beginning, was expected. Even I'm like, we'll see. Maybe. In my mind, I thought, all right, Microsoft is going to do one last push for exclusives to try to rectify. Because I already said Xbox Series was selling like dog shit, but I thought maybe investing all this money is because they want to give, you know, the last fight, you know, the last 300. We're going to be the 300. We're going to go down. We're going to try this one last time. Here's the exclusives. The Elder Scrolls, the this, the that, Overwatch 3. All right, they might give one last push, right? But I don't think anyone really expected that once they bought these companies, they looked into the books, that they realized that there's nothing they can do. That whatever they thought they were going to do, they can't, right? But anyway. But while that ABK and the Bethesda purchase, everyone was pretty much in the signal of they're going to try to push exclusives to really give that console a chance. And no one had a problem with it. Obviously, you had the fanboy wars, but the Paris, Greg Millers, everyone Once they realized that shit ain't happening. Once Phil finally came with the core, I call it the core 4, right? The core 4, right? He says, "Hey, we putting these core 4." That's when everybody started to be like, "All right, maybe it's just 4, but exclusives, we get it. You need these games." And now that they know no red lines, now exclusives outright bad, simply because of one company, company, right? But then they let Nintendo get away with it. That's what I don't understand. Oh no, Nintendo's okay because their games actually do sell. Wait, hold up. That they're using two different arguments. You guys are saying PlayStation is wrong for keeping exclusives because they're gatekeeping their games out from everybody. Well, Nintendo is gatekeeping their games out from everybody. Oh no, but they sell. So what is it? Are we talking about sales or are we talking about gatekeeping? Because those are two different topics. So you can gatekeep games as long as they sell 50 million. It's when they don't sell 50 million that you can't, like, what? I don't know what they're talking about. Because if it's going to be this kumbaya world, that's fine. But start flaming Nintendo. Greg Miller, Paris, go after them. Pressure them. Sure, they don't give a fuck, but that doesn't stop you from pressuring them. Flame them. Thrash them. Go after them. Crush them. You never know. Nintendo might be like, oh shit, we catching heat. But they won't do that. So I'm like, yo, how does Nintendo get away with it? Like, what do you think? Like, how does Nintendo get away with it?
It's just funny. Like, when I even when I came into the community, it was always, I don't know, bro. It's something about Nintendo to where they gotta, and I guess they earned it, man. They're above criticism for a lot of shit. They could put out a game that run at 240p, fucking 30 frames per second, unlock frame rate. Don't nobody give a fuck. Game of the year, right? But that's what I say. Like, a lot of shit Nintendo do, bro. Like, ain't nobody else getting away with that, bro. Even with like some of their games, like, you might get that Nintendo score. It might really be like an 87 if it was on another platform, but Nintendo, it might push it up to a 90, 91. Like, I guess they just earned it, man. I don't know. I really don't.
Like, I mean, I guess, man, right? I even see Nintendo cats argue on justifying Nintendo not doing price drops. Like,
hold the value. Yeah.
Oh, it's because it's pristine. It's hold the value. I'm like, bro, even Grand Theft Auto has price drops. And that's one of the biggest games in the industry. Like, what are we talking about? And stuff like that. Oh, it holds its value. Like, bro, what the fuck? Like, yeah, if you sell the game 7 months later, $60, then you're just admitting at $30, you're just admitting that it was never $60 to begin with. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, every game across the industry. So, Grand Theft Auto 6, you could get it, Grand Theft Auto 5, you could get it for $20. You're saying that it was never worth $60 to begin with? Like, I don't understand these cats. Like, bro, Nintendo be suing people's mothers.
Bro. And Nintendo be doing shit.
No, bro.
Nintendo come out with game themed, like they had an Animal themed console. It didn't come with a fucking copy of Animal Crossing. I'm like, what the hey, like I said, bro, some of the stuff Nintendo be doing, bro, I'm honestly impressed by the shit. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Like, I like the thing I like about Nintendo. No matter what the outrage is, no matter what people say, they truly don't give a fuck. Make them like, we gonna release what we want to release, when we want to release it, how we want to release it, and you gonna buy it, and that's it. Like, it is what it is.
And if any other company tried that shit, they would get flamed.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Yo, imagine if Sony said, you know what, PlayStation 6, we coming out, but fuck it, it's a 1080p machine. Deal with it.
Oh, the internet is explosive.
Shit. Get the fuck out of here. Like, what? They no way. Ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way. They would not allow that shit for a minute. PlayStation 6, hey, we're doing lock 30. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Fuck around and find out with PlayStation saying some shit like that. It's just, Nintendo really, I don't know how they developed that clout. You know what I'm saying? I get it. There's some of their first party IPs sell great, but that doesn't excuse them from like doing other things, right? Just because Spider-Man sold 20 million doesn't mean you give them a free break on everything else. Bro,
they got a different type of clout, man. They like the mob or some shit like that.
Right?
They plug
and even if you hype Nintendo, right? You go on air on your YouTube channel. You be like, hey, check this game out. They be like, yo, so who gave you permission to talk about us? Yeah, we demonetizing. We taking all your revenue. I'm like, what? That's why I don't
Nintendo
show Nintendo shit.
they be putting motherfuckers
I don't show
in jail,
Nintendo
too.
shit.
Don't
Even when I mute them, they still find a way. Cause the image. So they even do that. Oh, you put an image of our game on your thing. The whole channel's monetized for us. I delete the video. I'd rather delete. That's why that's why you don't see a lot of Nintendo content. I delete them. I'll be goddamn I'm giving you free money on my own shit. Fuck you. Nothing. Delete the shit.
That is crazy.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Like, I done show Nintendo stuff, like, instantly. It says you cannot monetize it or add revenue going to the copyright owner. All of it.
No, they got that rule.
I'm going to give you money for my labor? I go on my video, delete it. You ain't getting
anything featuring Nintendo gameplay, they can monetize for them. And
they take it
They made that rule. Yeah,
not even share. Not even split. No, all of it.
Yeah.
You could talk about 2 minutes of Nintendo, 2 hours of Xbox, 2 hours of PC, 10 hours of PlayStation. That 2 minutes, all of it's ours. All of it. Fuck that. Delete. Delete off my channel. Gone. And you can't even change it to say don't monetize the video then. Nope. It stays monetized. It just doesn't stay monetized for you. But it's monetized for Nintendo. You are out your mind, bro. I do self-destruct on those videos. Sure, it's hours that, maybe a few hours put in, or maybe it's 30 minutes, whatever time I put in, I don't care. But I'm not giving Nintendo free money. You are out your mind. Not one penny, not 1 cent is going to them. For my YouTube channel. Get the hell out of here. And it's just crazy. That company is wild, bro. Let me ask you this: are you interested in a Switch?
I don't know, man. I play. My niece and nephew, they grown, but my niece and nephew, they got the Switch. They each got one. I play it occasionally, but you know what it is too. The thing I really don't like about the Switch is really the controller. I fucking hate the Joy-Cons, bro. They suck so bad, bro. But other than that, I mean, like you said, I'm trying to see what they're gonna do with the Switch 2. It's looking like a lot of the same, more the same, to be honest. But it really just depends. You know what I mean? I really want them to improve their structure. That shit was running on like Windows 95 until last year. Like that's a real thing. Like literally, that's a real thing. Yes, bro.
Explain. What are you talking about?
Nintendo online infrastructure was running on like Windows 95 until last year. Look it up. Real shit. Yeah. But the shit is crap.
Jack, stop, bro. Stop. We about to get clipped. That dude Astro Cyborg right now.
Hey, go look.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
The old ass Windows was running on. I'm sitting up and telling you, bro. Like, nah, they shit is they need to. I shouldn't have to give you my fucking my lucky friends. You know what I mean? Like, just certain shit they need. I would love for them to add an achievement system. I know a lot of people don't care about stuff like that. I do personally. Just quality of life improvements for the Switch 2. I would like to see them try to do, but I'm not opposed to owning one.
Yeah, that's another thing weird. Like, why are people arguing with the achievement system? People love it. Even if you personally don't like it, like, even if I personally, like, for example, Quick Resume, right? Some people say, oh, it should be on PlayStation. I never try to make an argument not to get it. I'm like, I just ignored it because it doesn't impact me. It might be something someone else might like. Like, some things ain't meant to be argued for. Some things is like, yeah, whatever. If Nintendo does it, they do it. If they don't, but I'm not gonna go out of my way. There's people who go out of way. Oh no achievements on Nintendo. The fuck are you talking about? Even iPhone has achievements. Like, that's something a lot of gamers do enjoy. Some of them, because that's the way they want to play, they built their enjoyment of gaming around it. They, the achievement hunters, the trophy hunters. And they play those games because they are enjoying doing that. Let them enjoy it. I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not going to argue with
all them Nintendo games have built-in triggers too. Like, all those games have like in-game shit you can unlock, or all this shit is already in the game. They would just have to implement a trophy system around it. Like the triggers are already there in the game.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, I don't know why. Like, some people argue for stuff that doesn't make sense to argue. Like, some stuff you could just ignore, like me. PlayStation handle. And we'll talk about this. We'll talk about it right now. I personally think it's a stupid mistake, but I'm not going to go out of my way and do a campaign to try to stop Sony. I just think it's a bad idea. But I'm gonna be like, whatever. They make it, they make it.
I don't know what you said is a bad idea.
PlayStation handheld. But
I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I'm not gonna do a campaign against it. I'm not gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna start a Discord server and get some gorillas. We're gonna stop this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, it's just a conversation, but I'm not gonna go on my way and say, you know, I'm just gonna be like, all right, if it happens. I mean, hell, look at the Portal. That shit blew up. I honestly didn't.
You got one? You got a Portal?
I didn't get it. I'm not into handhelds like that. I tried, but
that Portal nice though, man. It feel like you playing with a DualSense. I fuck with it.
I heard like a lot of even the people that were against it, they got it and they were like, wow, we like it's like maybe talk about it because I talked to some friends that got it, right? And I'm like, and I even brought up, but you know, you have a rogue ally because they do have rogue allies. I mean, you could have done remote dead, but like it's not the same. They like telling me like it's not the same. Like enjoying it on this, it's not the same as I'm like. All right. I mean, you guys are the handheld gamers, but do you feel the same way? Like, do you have a handheld system like a Rogue or?
No, I don't. I don't.
Okay.
Have one. I just got the Portal right now.
Okay, but some people that has both, they don't do remote on the Rogue on their Rogue Ally. They do it on the, and they say it's a much better way of playing the PlayStation games than on their Rogue. They don't the remote. Yeah, but anyway, what you like about the Portal?
I just like the feel of it, bro. Like the problem I had with the Vita was that it didn't have the full functionality of like a dual shock controller. But this, you know, it ain't got. I just like it, bro. Like the size of it, the size of it.
Oh shit.
The fact.
Hank Harris in the chat. Yo, watch it, bro. He's like, did he say size? Like, oh man.
The best thing about it though, honestly, is that it feels like you playing with a DualSense. Like that shit is awesome. And I thought it was gonna be weird because like it's spread apart. Like it ain't like you actually hold a controller. But I just don't know. I love the form factor. But the only problem, like I said, if they ever do a PS5 handheld or whatever they working on, it's gonna really have to look identical to this. So I don't even know how would they even market it at this point. They would have to like discontinue the Portal. But I didn't think.
How would that work if Sony did make a native? Let's say, you know, because I know you want one, but if they did, how would that strategy work? Like, is it just meant to play all the catalog games? Should it be tied to PlayStation 5 games, future PlayStations? Like, how you think it should work if Sony did this?
I think, well, first of all, I don't think they should make any exclusive games for it at all. Okay. It would be a mistake. They tried that with the Vita and it failed horribly. I think it should work just like the Portal does now, except you do not necessarily need an internet connection to always be tethered to the console. I think as long as they do that, get rid of the constant need to be on the internet to connect to it, because that is a problem with the Portal. If your PlayStation is not necessarily wired and you might not have the best internet, it's going to be hard to hold and keep a connection with the Portal. I struggle with that. But once I wired it, it was cool. I ain't really had no drops and all that. But yeah, just get rid of. That's the only problem with the Portal, bro. That's always got to be online with the remote play. Other than that, if they can have it to where you can whether they do little SD cards with the games on it, or it had an internal storage like the ROG or whatnot, I think that'd be dope as hell. I really think it's a market for that.
Now let me ask you this: what games should be able to play on it? Like, do you feel it should run Intergalactic, Wolverine? Do you think it should be able to play those games, or do you think that it's designed more for like the PS4 games and older games natively, and if you want to play the PS5 games, you have to remote to play them?
I think it should be able to play all this stuff natively. The only thing is, of course, it ain't gonna be it ain't gonna be K whatever. You know what I mean? It'd probably be at 720 1080p 30 or something. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be the same fidelity. You can't expect that unless you're trying to pay however much for the handheld. But a lot of these games do run, like the PC version, like the Spider-Mans and all that type stuff. They run on these ROG allies and Steam decks at a decent rate. So I think they could do it at a native. It just ain't gonna be the same. You're not gonna get it ain't gonna be like you playing on a fucking OLED, but it'll still be playable.
Now some of these games, so those OLEDs, they're like $700. They're not like that's the thing, right? For the PlayStation guys, and I think we've known PlayStation guys, you think they would be cool with a $700 PlayStation handheld?
I think the most they can get away with charging with it maybe like $500. I think they can do it at $500 because the Steam Deck, they got a Steam Deck that's like what $300-400.
Yeah.
It ain't that crazy. They got one that's like
but it doesn't play all the games, right? It only has like Steam.
No, it do. It just ain't. It ain't got the OLED screen.
Yeah, but like if you were to play like the Rogue Ally, the reason why you could play a lot of games is because that motherfucker's like $700. That dude is expensive. The Legion Go, the ones that play more games, they're like $700-800. So I wonder if people expect this PlayStation handheld to play majority of the PS5 games, it ain't gonna be $500. Like it's not gonna be the same price as a console. You gonna have to pay more because they're gonna have to put in more hardware into that sucker. Like it could be, this is what I'm concerned about though, right? My concern is they inadvertently created the Xbox Series S situation. That's what I'm afraid of. You know what I'm saying? Because really, even though you call it a handheld, if the requirement is every game works on the PlayStation Portal 2. Let's call it the Portal 2. Not Portal 2 or PlayStation PSP 2. Let's call it that. They make the PSP 2 and the requirement is all PlayStation 5 games must work on the PSP 2. Then you literally created the Xbox Series S scenario. Because it's the weaker hardware and now you got to balance it. And I don't want that. That's the only thing I'm like, oh man.
I would be with you, but at the same time, it's like they still making like PS4 games. Like they trying to get away from that now, but it's like, I don't know. That's my thing too. Like, especially with this cross-gen, and I was kind of against them stopping the cross-gen shit because now I'm seeing they pouring shit like Lego Horizon to the Switch. Why the fuck? Yeah. How is Lego Horizon on the Switch but not the PS4? Like, what the hell? I'm against cross-gen games, but at the same time, if you wouldn't have put a game on the Switch, you might as well put that motherfucker on the PS4. Like, what we doing? Like,
I agree with that. That didn't make no sense. And people like,
like what the hell?
And I know some of the conversation was, you got to get people on the PS5. I'm like, bro, Horizon's not that. Lego's not that game.
Of course.
A person who's on a PS4 is not going to be like, oh, that's it. I gotta get a PS5. Lego. Like, no.
Exactly.
Like, stop. Like, Spider-Man 2 is exclusive on PS5. Even the DLC to Forbidden West is exclusive to the PS5. You got VR modes you got a lot of exclusives that you can't do on the PS4. And even the games that aren't exclusive, they're much better on the PS5 in a whole new way, right? So if Lego's not going to make a person go from PS4 to PS5. That's not the game. If other games didn't do it, that game definitely not going to do it. So there was really no reason to keep it out of PS4. But in my thing, why even make that game, period? Like, let me put it this way. I want to ask you this. Is Sony overhyping Horizon? Because I have a feeling they think that character's like Mario. I get this feeling that, like, does Sony look at Aloy like Mario or Link, like Zelda, like, because she's not that character. She's a good character. She's a great character. But you're not gonna start making T-shirts and games and like what the fuck is we talking? Like Lego? Like what the fuck is we talking about here?
As somebody who's a Horizon fan, I played both of the games, played first times. I'm gonna say, you know what? I think it's Herman Hulst. Now I'm not saying he completely behind it, but you know Herman Hulst, he gorilla. I think he's heavily behind. And there is so many rumored Horizon projects right now, bro, that ain't even came out yet. Like, it's actually fucking astonishing if you even just. It's a rabbit hole. It's so many Horizon games rumored. I don't know if one game is two different rumors or two different rumors is one. Like, bro, it's so confusing, bro. But I definitely think Herman Hulst is behind this push for all these fucking Horizon games. And as far as the Lego situation, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. What I think they should have did, Puertorock, hear me out. And if you play Astrobot, you see where I'm going with this. They got Astrobot, and we see how they did like the little Horizon level, the God of War level, Uncharted level. Why don't, instead of doing Lego, which they probably had to license that out, why don't they just do Astrobot? They could do mini game, a little Astrobot Horizon game. That would have been dope. I think they could have did something like that.
That probably would have been better. An Astrobot, like, use your own IP. Other IP. Like, if you want you to do a cartoony thing, don't go to Lego. Use the Astrobot engine and create Astrobot version of Horizon. Maybe.
Little 4 or 5 hour game, you know what I mean?
An Astrobot version of God of War, an Astrobot version of Spider-Man for the 4 and 5 year old kids. For the 4 or 5 year old kids, 6-year-old kids. They're not gonna play The Last of Us, the real shit, but a little cartoony version that's cutesy and stuff like that, like a completely story, but like what they do with the Lego. But
and those levels are dope too. Those levels are dope. Matter of fact, you don't even necessarily got to make it a full game. They could be an add-on to to Astrobot. You got Astrobot. Give us $20. We got a whole exactly.
The Horizon Adventures, Astrobot Horizon Adventures.
You know what's crazy? That's a games as a service in and of itself. That's a games as a service right there. A successful model. They not even trying to do no shit like that. Like, come on,
brother, man, they need to hire us.
I'm telling you, bro. They tripping, bro.
We got these dudes, right? Right? We could have turned Astrobot, a single play game, into a live service game. Like, $20 DLC, Horizon Adventures. You know, next $20 DLC, Astrobot, God of War Adventures, Spider-Man Adventures.
That's it right there. That's a goal, man. I'm fine all that.
Days Gone Adventures. You know, and it's just really the Astrobot character with a wig. That's really
exactly. It's a skin, bro.
It's a skin. That's all it is. That's all it is. Just a bunch of skins, and you're literally playing the real version of games, but in a more soft, lighthearted, family-oriented. And
those levels, them levels fire too. I enjoy those little game things. I thought those was dope. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
So.
You know what I'm saying? But that's, but what do we know, right? Stuff like that. Let me do some more super chats up in here, right? We got oh shit, this shit just got flooded. What the fuck just happened? Give me a second all right, here we go. Oh Lord. Okay, back to it. So Face23BK, thank you for super chat, says the only insider for PlayStation is Tom Henderson. He ain't lying. Low key, he did a better job than most.
That other guy, Nate the Hate too, though. Nate the Hate, he the one that
you know what? Those two, because between those two, the Portal, PS5 Pro, and one more thing. They had 3 things that they predicted, and all 3 things came out.
That Nate dude, he predicted the state of play.
The state of play, yep. He also predicted a lot of Xbox stuff.
Yeah, he do.
That dude was really on point with the Xbox.
Yeah, he really plugged it. I think
right down to the games, the announcements. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
I know Microsoft is trying to be like, who the fuck is this guy, bro? Because he was on it, right? But shout out to 23BK. You were right. All right, the brain says too much overlap with the Portal and PC handhelds. Let me ask you this, right? I'm gonna ask you this. Everybody, let me ask you this. Do you feel PC handheld, like these Asus ROG Steam Deck, is a big market? Because I'm confused. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm not trying to say they're failures or successes. I personally can't gauge if this is a successful market or a failed market. Because I try to look up, all right, how well is the Steam Deck doing? Steam Deck doesn't release numbers, but analysts are saying it's between 4 to 5 million. I'm like, all right. I look up when Steam Deck came out. It came out in 2022. So I'm like, is 4 to 5 million sales over a 2-year period good? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to come out and say, oh man, Steam Deck is trash. It only sold 5 million. It's dog shit. I don't know. Like if it was Nintendo, if the Switch 2 only sold 5 million over 2 years, I know that's a failure. I know that, no cap, we all know that's a failure. But is it a failure for Steam Deck? We don't know how Asus ROG really sells. I don't think that thing's even at 1 million. Maybe. But I can't tell you if it's a failure or not. Is it successful because it's a niche market that people get to enjoy? What do you think? How do you grasp this?
I was gonna say it's more like a niche market. So like I equate it to something like VR headsets, right? Like you say, a console selling 3 to 5 million in 3 years is terrible. But if you hear a VR headset did that, you'll be like, okay, not bad. Like, so I put it in that same type of tier. Like, yeah, I'm thinking by the metrics they holding this stuff to, 3 to 5 million might be, right where they thought they'd be at, maybe a little bit over. So I think it's a market for it, definitely, but it's definitely a niche market. It ain't for everybody. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, all right. That makes sense. Okay. AC, member for 25 months. Google can't play PS games native on Steam Deck. Really can't?
You definitely can. Oh, is he talking about from like how you do the Portal is what he's talking about?
I guess. I don't know. He just says Google can't play PS games native on Steam Deck. I thought you could. I thought they had like Steam Deck verified PlayStation.
Yeah, you can.
Let me see.
Well, he might be talking about the remote play thing.
Oh, remote play, Steam Deck, PlayStation verified games. PlayStation verified games. I'll just look it up. Oh man, this is fucking Google's book. It says it has a whole list, but I was trying to look at PlayStation. Steam Deck makes Spider-Man. Okay, let me see The Verge. Steam Deck makes PlayStation biggest games portable. Spider-Man Remaster is just the latest example, right? But that's okay. Sony may have stopped making portable gaming devices years ago, but Valve's Steam Deck has quickly become an excellent way to play PlayStation games on the go. Big first-party titles like God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone are now available on PC and have been verified for Steam Deck. PlayStation hits like Death Stranding and Final Fantasy Remake Integrate are verified too. So there's articles. So I don't know. You see, if you could elaborate on the chat a little bit, let us know. It says you can only stream. It's not native. I don't know. I don't have a Steam Deck. So, Grizzly Bear King, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Hey, how are you doing, Jack? Always wanted to ask. Wario, Metroid, Smash Bros, Kirby aren't developed by Nintendo. Why you call them first party, but Helldivers 2 isn't? Hope you can give an honest, non-flippant, it's Nintendo answers. Cheers." Oh, shit. Here we go.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. Okay. They're second-party games. They're second-party games, but see, this is the thing.
Yo, Jack, I know exactly what you've been saying. Yeah. I know the argument, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
It's like, please. So it's a first-party IP, but it's made by a second-party developer. That makes it a game. This is the thing. And this is really what our argument boils down to. Even though they're technically, by definition, second-party games, Nintendo is always going to view that as a first-party title. They're not going to say, you know what I mean? Even Pokemon. Nintendo does not own Pokemon. They don't own the people that develop Pokemon. They co-own it. Every Pokemon game is a second-party game. It's just a first-party. They consider it first-party, but it's a second-party game. It is what it is.
I would say this. To side with you on this topic, it would be something if those second party games never went to any other platform. Like if Helldivers was exclusive to PlayStation, okay, it's a little bit more than what Nintendo does, right? Because Nintendo, like for example, he mentioned Metroid. Okay, Metroid second party, but you're not gonna see that game on any other device. Not on PC.
Exactly.
So even if the argument is that, so I get your side. What I would do say though, on the other side of the conversation, we got to admit this is not new. PlayStation has, like, I don't know, for some people, like when you bring that up, the second party, whatever, some people think it's a new strategy that Sony had to adopt because of PS5's issues with first party, whatever. And I'm like, no, we could take it back all the way to PS1. That's always been a thing for them. Obviously they had their own first party, they did second party, and they did third party exclusives since the moment PlayStation 1 came out. They always did that. So that's normal.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna say two things. I'm gonna say two things about this. First of all, it's a huge misconception. I do not dislike second party games. Just because I put a distinction on the game, it don't make it less playable. It don't make it less. It's just what it is, bro. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, go watch What's Up PlayStation Podcast the last time they interviewed Sean Layden. He himself, you can go back to when they asked him about second party game, third party. He himself said games like Ratchet before Sony, I think they bought Insomniac in 2018, 2020, whenever they bought them. Whenever they bought them. Exactly. So every Ratchet and Clank game before, bro, those are second party. Resistance. It's just PlayStation. They own the IP, but if you don't own the IP and the developer making the game, it can only be a second party game at best. That don't make it no worse. It don't make it no better. It's just, it is what it is. I don't know why people, it's not nothing to argue about. I don't.
That team was made by Ninja Theory.
Exactly.
And now Ninja Theory is owned by Xbox. Right? So if they ever wanted to make a Heavenly Sword, it has to be made by somebody else. Yeah, I would use like Platinum Studios or Team Ninja to do it.
That's another point of distinction. The IP, you can have a first party IP be a second party game. Those are not mutually exclusive. Just because it's a first party IP does not automatically make it a first party game. I'm gonna give you another example. You can even look at something like maybe even Horizon. I don't know who technically owns Horizon Lego, but that might be a second party game by distinction. But it's a first party IP being Horizon. But some people say, "Oh, it's really Lego IP." But you just nitpicking at that point. You see what I'm saying? So I don't got no problem with these games. People think about if it's a third party game, Jackmoove don't like if it's a second. I'm just putting a distinction on the game. I'm just telling y'all what it is, bro.
But guess who fucked it up now?
Oh, you talking about Xbox? You talking about that
Because
shit?
now Aaron Greenberg said Ninja Gaiden is a first party IP.
See,
like, you were like, oh my god! And I guarantee, when I saw that tweet, what's the first thing I thought? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be like, they're gonna use this and go after Jackmoove Johnny, and he's gonna be like,
bro,
fuck you, don't. And did they do that?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit they did.
You were like, you know what? I'm done with y'all motherfuckers.
I didn't know what they was talking about at first. I went and looked at shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Because Cole and Aaron Greenberg. I'm like, Ninja Gaiden's first party. When I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, like, we are de-evolving in the gaming community
rapidly.
Like, we are getting dumber. Like, what the fuck is happening? Now Ninja Gaiden is Xbox first party. I'm like, oh my god. Like, I don't even call like Rise of Ronin or Neo PlayStation first party. It's a deal. It's a second party deal. That's all it is. But PlayStation has always done that. Therefore, I'm good with it. Because, I like, and I think that's part of the thing about owning a console. When you own a console and you pay $500 to the company, you expect that company to do stuff for you. So the company is like, hey, yo, Puertorock, Jackmoove, I did this. We got these exclusive indies. Cool. Hey, yo, we making a deal with Tecmo, Team Ninja. We bring you Neo 1 and 2. Cool. Hey, we have China Hero Project, Lost Soul Aside. Cool. Hey, we got some partnerships from Africa. We got this game. All right, cool. I like that.
I do
some work and bring some stuff, right? But like, what's happening is other people that didn't buy a PlayStation, they try to shame me for enjoying that. Oh, you Puertorock, you need to sign with me. Bitch, you chose PC. That's your problem. Don't fucking look at Xbox. Get the fuck out of here. You chose Xbox. That's not my problem. Like, I'm sorry. I'm looking at Sony because I gave them $500. I bought a Pro, gave them $700. What you doing for me? I don't understand why people are pissed off at that. Like, why y'all mad that I expect this company to do for me? I don't care. If they do stuff for you, that's a separate conversation, right? Like, Sony put their game on Game Pass, like MLB The Show, they put it on Game Pass, they took it off of Game Pass. That's not my problem. Oh, see, Puertorock, they took off Game Pass, you ain't saying shit. Bro, I'm not on Game Pass. I don't give a fuck. Like, what do you want me to do? Oh, well. What I'm worrying about is what you're doing for me. Because I literally, the way I see it is like buying a first class ticket on an airplane. Everybody's going to the same destination. But I'm not worrying about the people back in coach. I better see my bottle of water when I sit down. You know what I mean? That shit better be already there. That I don't understand what this stuff is.
They always say gaming is a selfish hobby, but then they get mad at you if you're not out there, on the soapbox. It's like, brother, you just told me it was a self. Now I got to be worried about what the fuck you got going on. I don't.
You know what I'm saying? I remember, what is it? I guess the Spider-Man 2 port was really bad. It wasn't good at all on PC and stuff like that, right? Because they just released it, right? Spider-Man 2, right? They recently... No, not Spider-Man 2. What they recently released?
Yeah, that came out.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, and there was some issues with it. And they coming to me like, oh, you going to speak on this? I'm like, bro, I didn't even play the game on PC. I don't play on PC. I mean, I got a gaming laptop. Shit is dog shit, which the PC gamers were right. They warned me not to do it, but I'm like, all right, whatever. What do you want me to say? You got a bad port. If anything, you should ask your PC guys who's talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro, how come they not talking about it? They worried about the PS5 Pro. They should be telling you what's up with the PS5 PC port. Not me. Like, maybe when, I'm on PC and I start playing these games, then I could be like, hey, PC's dog shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do and stuff like that, right? Grizzly Bear came back. He has another question. Grizzly Bear King, thank you for the super chat. He says, a first-party owned IP that is a video game is a first-party game made by a second-party studio. We are just mincing words. Cheers for the answer.
I mean, I feel like we just got, it's just we got to agree to disagree.
I think we're circling the wagons. The way I see it, though, overall, right? Because this is what it is. And I think it's because the goddamn Xbox fanboys are fucking up the conversation, right? I see it as, right, what is the publisher who released this console, right? You give, like, PlayStation's the publisher, like, or the owner. We'll use that word, owner. I think owner's better. You got a company who owns a brand called PlayStation. We decided to say, hey, here's $500. You grab that console off the shelf, connect it to your TV. Now we're looking at that company, be like, what are you doing for us? Now that I gave you $500. Yes, I'll Obviously, we have to give you more money for subscriptions and games. But what are you doing in terms of providing content to us that we can buy, enjoy, and keep playing our console? For me, it's 3 strategies. Strategy number 1 is their own first party. Strategy number 2 is any second party relationship. And strategy number 3, whatever relationship they can establish with third party. And that's it. To me, they're all equal, right? Now, certain things for me is more important than the other. Not really more important, higher expectation. For example, expectation 1, directly from first party, my expectation is these are the people that's going to do the most on the console. You will provide the best quality, the best optimizations. You're going to push forward technology. You're going to push forward features. Like, so for example, I expect every first party to have these advanced performance options with VRR, HFR, unlocked frame rates. I expect that from the first party developers. I don't expect that from the second or third party. I would like them to convince, but depending on the studio, they may not have that capability. So that's how I look at each strategy. So for the first party, I have the highest expectation because they should be the best at optimizing and showing what this console can do so they can set the blueprint for everybody else. Like, look what this console is capable of doing. Look what features and advanced options you can do. Look how smooth we can get games going. Follow our template. Cool. But there's not a lot of first party studios. So now Sony has to do the second party strategy, meaning, hey, we got owned IPs that we own. We just don't have enough studios to make them. So, hey, let's establish second party relationships. Hey, we got the Insomniac, but then they ended up buying them. You know, this studio. Hey, Platinum Games, we want you to do Heavenly Sword or whatever. Okay, cool. Bloodborne. That's a perfect example. Hey, we got Bloodborne. We have this IP from software. We want you to make it. And we'll give you support from Japan studios. All right, cool. I expect that. And then finally, any third party outside new studios. So like Shift Up with Stellar Blade. Cool. Great. Even if those going to PC don't matter, you still created a new IP. You put it on PlayStation. You made a partnership with the people who made Phantom Blade Zero. Cool. I'm cool with that. What is it? Lost Solo Side. Outstanding. Silent Hill 2 with Konami. Made a deal with them. Death Stranding. You made a deal with Kojima. I'm cool with that. You see what I'm saying? So I look at it as 3 lanes. What is your first party doing? What are you doing for second party strategies? And what are you doing for third party deals and stuff like that? And all of that is what I expect from PlayStation. That's me. So, and I see that as what I do it.
What's my man that just donated? I do got one more thing.
Which one? The last one?
The King, what was his name? King Gorilla or some shit like
that? Grizzly Bear King.
Grizzly Bear King. I'm gonna say this too, fam. You know what really started to what really got this first, second, third party conversation popping too, if you think about it. Puertorock touched on this earlier.
Yeah, let's just touch back. That's what started this whole thing.
I feel like this is what started Puertorock because, like you said, even though games like second party to Nintendo or third party, whatever, we know them games ain't got a chance or a danger of going anywhere else, bro. It don't matter who the fuck make it. So we just always view them games as first party, even though they might not technically be what they are. But I feel like what started this conversation is when you get the Death Strandings of the world where we think this is a true PlayStation exclusive, we plugged in with Kojima Productions, and then you blink your eyes, this motherfucker on Game Pass. Like, what the fuck? What just happened, bro? Like,
that shit was on PC Game Pass. I was like,
that's what I'm saying. But, like,
I'm gonna be fair. I didn't know that, but I knew Kojima was going multi-platform. In my opinion, I had a feeling. I didn't think when he started his new development studio, he was just gonna be like, all right, I'm just gonna make games for PlayStation. I personally never felt he was gonna do that. I think he was just gonna branch out and do what he wanted, but Sony wanted the first stab at their project.
I don't know.
I would love Kojima because if that was the case, they would have just bought him out and bought his studio, and now he will fall on the plate. But then even then, let's be honest. Even if they did buy him, it still will go to PC. Because
probably.
You know, because even their own native studios.
Insomnia.
So I think that
PC initiative fucked it up too. That's true. That's true.
So I think if their own first party native studios putting the games on PC, then there's really no chance that any third party or second party is going to stay exclusive to the console, you know. And I think this all stems on one thing, and we'll talk about this, right? Sony, or at least Totoki, he has repeated, and I'm gonna say this is what's crazy, right? Because I saw two of the quality earning reviews, right? And there was 2 occasions where, so let me back up a little bit so that way the audience has a little bit of awareness. When they do the Q&A, they do it in 2 segments. One is like the industry, media, and stuff like that, right? They allow them like a period of, so they can talk, and then they take a break, and then they cut over to the actual investors, the actual people invested in Sony. And then you have all topics on cross Sony. But the ones who are interested in PlayStation, there was 2 times, right? 2 separate investor conversations where they ask, are they nervous with cannibalization with this PC strategy? So this is an investor asking them, is there any concern on cannibalization? Meaning that PlayStation is going to eat up the people that's on the console. Meaning they're going to pull them and take them, vice versa. And Totoki said both times that they have no data that shows PC's a threat, PC's an issue with PlayStation. They don't see it as a competitor or anything. They think it's fine. How do you feel about that? Do you agree? And I granted, I'm not trying to say we know better than the CEOs, just your own personal opinion. Do you feel PC is a threat to PlayStation? Meaning, nah, you fuck around and find out? Or do you think he's right? Like, yeah, PC's in their own lane. Console gamers don't like PC. What do you think about that?
Well, I think they don't have any proof to show that because they haven't done a day and date single player game yet. So, and this is the, and if you look,
yeah, you are under. Yo,
that's what I'm saying, though, right?
Like they don't have the data on something because they haven't done it yet.
Exactly.
But here's the thing: they do have that, or they can get data on someone who already did it. That's why I don't understand. Like, got it. Maybe you don't have your own data, but how about you get with the analysis firms like MPD Circana and get a report on how did they impact Xbox? So we can see, so we can learn from another dude's mistake. And that's what I think. Like, so in my opinion, this is my opinion. In a sense, they're right. I don't think PC can pull a console gamer who enjoys console. If you are enjoying your console, saying, oh, PC got free online, PC got mods, PC, you can use any controller. I don't think the console gamers give a shit because they don't have a problem with native hardware, native PlayStation hardware or certified PlayStation hardware, right? The third-party hardware. They're cool with that. The online, I don't even want to hear that bullshit argument. Half the people did, maybe you noticed, but half the people talking about free online, motherfucker, you on 360. It's your fault. Yeah. Like, you guys are the reason why we're paying online, because you went on 360, you paid for an online, and you called the PS3 free online dog shit. And now that you'll jump on PC, oh man, PC's free online. Like, bro, you on 360. You literally created this environment. So I don't want to hear that free online bullshit when a lot of us were a part of it, and now it's normalized. Even Nintendo does it. Nintendo pays for online. So that, to me, I don't care about that, but whatever. All these little things that PC does, different hardwares, you can upgrade, get the performance that you want. A lot of console gamers aren't interested in that, right? So I don't see PC pooling a lot of console gamers. What I do see is potential of the actual company pushing the console gamers towards PC because the console gamers are getting fed up. And I think that's what happened to Xbox. PC didn't pull Xbox gamers out of console. Microsoft pushed them into PC because, after a while, you're like, all right, hey, we got Aura on Game Pass. Oh, no, that's PC Game Pass, not console. And you're like, what? Okay. Hey, Death Stranding, PC Game Pass. But what about the console? Oh, yeah, we can't get it on your console. They got it on the console like a year and a half later and still not on console Game Pass. So the console games are like, what? Hey, we're releasing. I remember 2019 when they launched Gears of War. Was it Gears of War Tactics?
Tactics. Yep.
Yeah, Gears Tactics, and it launched on PC first.
Yep.
And I was like, and then the damage control was, well, the controls. It's a strategy game. They have to, they have to implement the controls. That's why it's coming out on PC first. When the game launched, dudes were playing it with a controller because they already had the controller configuration built in it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So after a while, you're literally making the console look like shit. So yeah, I'm going to go to the PC. And I think that's where Sony has to look at it. Like, it's not about PC pulling gamers. It's about you pushing gamers because you're making your own shit look like trash. little by little.
I got something to add to that, Porter. Let me ask you about this because I've been thinking about this for a while. Also, I think the streaming culture of younger gamers, like a lot of younger gamers coming up, they're not coming up with brand loyalty. They don't associate Master Chief and they don't care about none of this shit, right? They care about Roblox, Fortnite, Apex, and they care about shit like Kai Cenat and people like this. So I feel like the new age of gamers coming up, and they see these guys, they all streaming on PC or whatnot, and all these kids coming up want to be streamers, and they don't care about they only care about multiplats anyway. I feel like that is also bringing in a whole new generation of PC gamers. Like a lot of these younger kids don't care about no fucking console, bro. That when they see gaming, they like, I want a PC setup. Like I want to stream like Kai Cenat. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's adding to it too.
You know why you're right, because I'm gonna be honest. Some of these kids growing up don't even play games.
Yeah.
To them, being a gamer is literally watching a Twitch stream. And I have like families with young kids, whatever, and they're gamers and stuff. I'm like, oh, you play this game? Oh yeah, they're watching this dude. I'm like, who? I'm like, no, you. Are you playing this game? They're like, no. And they look at me like, and I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck is happening, bro? Like you gotta play the games. Like you gotta play the games to be a gamer. Like I'm like, yo, these young kids is weird. Like they all enjoy watching somebody else play the games.
And they know all about it. They know all about them too. Know all the mechanics and everything. They never played that joke.
Yeah, right. And it's like you said, they're doing this while the streamer's doing it on PC. So that's what they associate. So you're right. They're associating gaming to PC via these streamers. Vice, the actual games and the console stuff like that. I think I will say this. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to just say this. I don't like the fact that Sony just is trying to do kumbaya with PC. If anything, I would prefer Sony try to compete with PC. And I know right now,
exactly.
Astrobot, I know Astro Cyborg ready to clip. Sony thinks he could. Like, listen, the way I see it, it's a win-win situation because PC is not pulling PlayStation gamers. It's not with all these advantages, right? Like I said, I feel like if a gamer is going to go to PC, it's probably because they're being pushed away simply because they're getting fed up with what's happening. But if you give the console gamers what they want, the exclusives, the attention and all that stuff, they're going to enjoy a console, right? So for me, right, if you look at PC, people are going to wonder what advantage is Sony going to have against PC, right? Because PC got the hardware. You can get any hardware that you want. They got the free online. They got multiple storefronts. You got mods, right? And you can use any type of peripheral you want, right? So there's so many advantages PC has, right? And you can build yourself for a cheaper price or get a pre-build. I mean, you could do a lot of things, right? So once the advantage a console has that you can say that Sony's going to compete with PC. And I will say this. There's one advantage consoles will always have, if they actually focus on it anyway, that PC can never have. There's one thing PC will never be better at. Never, ever, ever, ever. And that's straight out of the box optimization. There is way too many configurations on PC, and everybody's complaining about it. If you listen to the actual PC channels, optimizations on PC is becoming a problem to where now you need higher end hardware and all these DLSS to try to mitigate it, or you download this patch. Optimization, I would say optimization across the board is becoming a bigger issue because everybody's trying to make a game across every fucking thing, right? Try to be the jack of all trades, but a master of none type scenario. Now, if Sony comes out and be like, you know what? All right, we the man in console gaming, but you know what? We're gonna get some of these PC gamers because not every PC gamer has that hardware. They're not that dude. Most of them aren't. They got cheap, shitty hardware that they're playing on, right? So they don't have the hardware to really brute force bad optimization. And Sony be like, hey, we're going to recommitment to optimized gaming, recommitment to out-of-the-box gaming. Everything works on the disc day one. We're not all about that day one patches. We want the games to work, tight frame rates, good quality, all this stuff. Well-optimized gaming. We're going to work out third parties to get the optimized gaming that you guys get. That way you play the game, you install it, you boot it up. A nice optimized experience. You are not getting all these jank issues on our console. And I think there's gamers that's going to be like, thank God, finally, someone understands quality control. No more 50 patches to fix shit. No more jank. Solid frame rates. Smooth frame rates. No glitches. Shit don't crash. You just play it and it works flawlessly, beautifully. No issues. Boom, I'm down. Here's my money. And I think Sony can do that. I think there's going to be some PC gamers that don't have those tight hardware. They'll be like, oh, shit. You know what? I'm tired of this jank shit. I just want my shit to turn on, and it just works beautifully. And I'm good with that. Don't give me these bad jittery frame rates. Use the technologies. I think Sony should do that. And what that does is that benefits us. You telling me we won't benefit from a company who's trying to fight the optimization angle? We would love that. We don't get no janky shit. We get solid 60 frame rates. We get good performance options. To me, that's what Sony should recommit to.
See,
but no, they want to do this multi-platform.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And they want to do this jank shit.
This is my thing, Puertorock. I got 2 questions for you, actually. So, and it's for the audience, too. How did Sony, from 2016, how did Sony go, we're releasing the PS4 Pro to keep our users on console and from going to the competitive PC market, to 4 years later putting their games on fucking PC? How did that happen within 4 years?
I don't know. Because I know I read that. We talked about it. The reason why they made PS4 Pro is to ensure PlayStation users don't leave PlayStation for PC. And then, that was 2016 they launched it. 2020, Horizon Zero Dawn on PC.
That would have, like, what the fuck happened? What happened, bro? I don't get it.
And people wonder why I was saying, oh, no, Sony's not going to do that. I didn't do it. I didn't say PlayStation's not going to put their games on PC because I'm a fanboy and just I'm pulling shit on my ass. I don't understand. People should know by now. I say things because I see certain indicators. So when I saw Sony said, hey, PlayStation 4 Pro was designed to keep PlayStation gamers on the PlayStation, I'm like, you literally invested millions and billions to make this thing. It doesn't make sense to put the games on PC because that defeats the purpose of the Pro. You made the Pro for this purpose. So when people were saying, oh, it's going to go to PC, I'm like, no, it's not. They literally made a Pro. They invested in a Pro. And then when Sony did the Horizon, I'm like, so I don't have an answer for you, Jack. I don't know. That's the reason why I ended up looking dumb. For that reason. Because Sony said they made the PS4 Pro to keep PlayStation gamers on PlayStation and make sure that even a few, because really it was a niche product. PS4 Pro is a niche product. So they made a product for the niche that might leave. For the niche. So I'm thinking, damn, if you're willing to go all out for a niche group, I know goddamn well you're not going to worry about, you're going to try to make sure the majority don't leave. 2020, Horizon Zero Dawn on PC, native. And it's better version. Screw stop, ultra wide,
crazy.
All these shits. I'm like, I gave props to Red. I was flabbergasted. I'm like, this makes no sense.
You and me both.
Then what the fuck is the Pro for? And you already, and you're starting to cut the legs of your next console because the next console was supposed to be the 60 frame performance, but technically, like, yo, I don't know. I don't know. People think I'm a fat boy, but come on, man, let's have the real conversation. So, like, you should have never made the PS4 Pro. Technically speaking, I got the PS5 Pro because I didn't buy the PS4 Pro because all it was a 4K fake bump, and I'm like, all right, it's cool, but I was hoping at least 1080p 60. Then I would have got it. That's really what I care about. Like, if you're going to improve a console in the same gen, to me, the frames. Because generally, the graphics already look good. Give me the frames. To me, that's the upgrade, right? So when they made the PS4 Pro, I was like, all right, I want to see if they're going to do 60 frames across everything now. Maybe a performance mode. They didn't. So I'm like, I don't need more better graphics. I needed better performance. With the PS5 Pro, they did that. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'll get the PS5 Pro. But at the same time, you're putting all these games on PC. Technically, if you're willing to wait, right? I guess, like me, I'm not willing to wait. I'm going to be honest. I'm not. For the games I want to play, and I said this before, I'm not going to pay $1,500, $2,000. And listen, the PC gamers don't start you don't have to pay $1,500. Shut the fuck up. If I get a PC, I ain't buying no jank PC. I'm going to get a good PC. But if I'm going to spend the money on a good PC, and the game comes out and I can't play it, that's not a valuable PC then. Like, if I buy a PC now, right? And let's say I got rid of my PS5 and I get a $2,000 PC. Don't worry about the price. Whatever. I get me a 4080 or 4090. And I'm like, cool, I got a great PC. All these games are running. Now Wolverine comes out and I'm like, must be nice. Can't play it. I'm just going to have to wait for the PlayStation announcement. Nah, fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna wait for a game that I want to play. I'm not gonna be like, oh, Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it because I can't. Nah, I'm not doing that. So that's why I'm still with PlayStation because it still gives me the experience I want to play, right? But for those that are willing to wait, why wouldn't you get a PC if you're willing to wait? If that's not a big thing for you, you see what I'm saying? So Sony really cut themselves. I don't know. I think our opinion, we could say they cut themselves short, but they don't feel that way. So I don't know. So to me, it's one of those fuck around and find out scenarios.
Exactly. That lead me to my next question. So we was talking about this a little bit on Twitter. I'm truly trying to figure this out. How are they going to market? Because we know they're not stopping the cross-gen no time soon, especially when this PS6 come out. And we got the PS5, we got the PS5 Pro. These games still running at 4K or up-res 4K, 60 frames per second, sometimes higher. Yeah. What is going to be so? And this is all purely speculation. But how in the hell are they going to market the PS6? I'm really like. Honestly, in my opinion, they're going to have to take like a premium route. Like, this is a premium console. It's premium price. It's an enthusiast box. Like, I don't see how they market this fucking next console to a general audience. I really don't see how they're going to do that.
I don't know. I will say this. They're going to, and I know we're predicting day and day there's potential. I personally think Sony just needs, at a minimum, to stay where they're at. Don't go because I'm going to be honest. I don't understand why they need to go day and date with the single player game. The live service games I get. That absolutely. That speaks for itself. Single player game, I don't know why they wouldn't stay with the same strategy. Hey, we're gonna build it for our consoles first, because we still build consoles. They want to do shit like Pisser. Why the fuck would you create, Pisser technology if you're not really caring about the console? Stay with the console, build the games for the console, build the relationships for the console, and then just port it to PC later. Later on, PC will get it when they get it. You get that little extra change, right? Because I personally believe people saying, no, you're going to get more sales with day one. I'm like, who? Like, for example, if a lot of people didn't buy Spider-Man when it came out, then what's going to make Spider-Man sell more if it would have came out day and date? There's only really, if it sold more, it's only because of what you said earlier. There's really only two groups. There's three. Let's look at it this way. You got three groups on PC, right? You got the guys who want to play the game day and date. You got the guys who play the game only because of FOMO. So they'll buy day and date because of FOMO. And then you got the guys who wait, right? Right now, the guys who want to play Spider-Man 2 day and date, they got a PS5. They're not going to wait. And they have no problem with that. So you already got those PC gamers. They bought your console. Sure, that might be the only thing they got in play is the first party, but they're buying it on your console and you get the full 100% credit. They're not going to wait for the PC version, right? Then you got the guys who are like, I could wait. Then they're not really interested in your game day and date. They're going to buy it anyway. They just, when it comes out, it comes out. So you still got those sales. So really, the day and date strategy is really for only one group, and that's the FOMO guys. Those are the guys that, if it would have been on PC day and date, they would buy it only because of FOMO, fear of missing out. But because it's not day and date, they don't care at all. So really, who is the day and date strategy for? Because the guys who are willing to buy day and date, they're buying it. They just buy it on the console. They have no problems owning more than one platform. If you make it day and date, like you said before, now they're not going to buy it on your console. They're going to buy it on their PC.
Yep.
And the guys who are willing to wait, they're 50-50, right? Because the game could come out and they could still be like, I'm not buying it. I'll wait for a sale. Because they're the waiters. The guys who wait, more often than not, the guys who wait is because they don't want to buy the game at $60 or $70. So those guys, you might not even get them day and date either. So they'll really, Sony will only be doing day and date for the FOMO guys. Are there really that many FOMO guys on PC? Like, are you going to get 5-6 million sales from FOMO? No. I don't think these PC gamers are rocking with Sony first-party games anyway like that. That's why they sell so low. And I don't think it's because the lack of day and date. I don't think it's that. Because there's games that are day and date on PC and it still sells like shit. I personally think the first-party games is not really a PC cup of tea. I don't think Sony really resonates well for that. I think right now a lot of PC gamers are talking about it. It's only the shit talking. It's kind of like the Xbox game. I'm going to be honest. I think Xbox games, some of them might be fine, but like I don't think a lot of these games is going to resonate well with PlayStation. Because if it did, they would have bought an Xbox. That's the thing. If these games really resonated well with a lot of gamers, they would have bought an Xbox. But they didn't. So I don't think like some games are going to blow out the box now because of PlayStation. I think it might do fine as ports, right? Maybe, I mean, the other games like Doom, that's always been on there. But I don't think Forza, maybe Forza Horizon might do great. Only because
see a thing sold $1 million. That was kind of crazy. Yeah. That was kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. In the end, it wasn't a top seller on PlayStation throughout the whole year. It was out of the top charts. Now, I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying it didn't do to the point where, like, oh, we're the 12th or 15th best-selling game on PlayStation 2024. It wasn't. It wasn't up there. Probably still did fine, right? Because
I can't believe that. So I played it before. That game is horrible. I can't believe that shit so like that, yo.
Again, I saw the videos. I know what I know. I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna like this game, whatever. But some people like it, stuff like that. But you're right. I don't know what they're gonna do with PlayStation 6. And like I said, some of the issues people complain about now, like cross-gen games, is gonna get worse on PlayStation 6.
Yep.
There's going to be more PC games during the PlayStation 6. Hell, cross-gen games I think could be 4 or 5 years because the PlayStation 5 is a good console. Better than the PS4 in terms of hardware and longevity. Because, PS4 is Jaguar cores. That shit was dog shit from the get-go. But the PS5 got proper desktop-level CPU. It got proper hardware. So it can have longer legs. So stand by for more cross-gens. That's just the PlayStation 6, 7, 8, 9. That's going to be there forever. Really is how deep in a rabbit hole Sony goes with this PC shit. And I think they should fight the optimization fight. I think if they went the optimization fight, that starts a new conversation in the gaming community. Gaming community could be like, wait a minute. And the reason why I said this, and let me ask you this. When Rockstar come up with the whole $100 games and that, or like, remember those weird articles saying, industry's hoping that Grand Theft Auto 6 is $100 because if they raise their game to $100, everybody's gonna raise their game to $100. I'm like, all right. First off, the rest of the industry is in Grand Theft Auto 6, so stop it. Like, y'all delusional. But what that ended up doing is all the gamers didn't matter what the platform was. They all agreed that a lot of games aren't even worth $70, mainly because the lack of optimizations. They come with jank, broken. Some games don't even work out the box in the disc. That's when gamers speak the truth across the whole industry, right? Once you threaten them with price increase, now it's fair game. Everybody sucks. All these games are not worth it, whatever. So if you have a company that says, hey, listen, we hear you, man. We're hearing you. A lot of games are coming out jank. You're right. A lot of games are coming out unoptimized. We understand. You know what? We're going to rededicate to that purpose. I think that might resonate. I think people will be like, all right, PlayStation, we hear you. We hear you. It might force the other industry to be like, shit, PlayStation's talking about reprioritizing optimizations and quality. I would love that. I don't think there would be anybody who would disagree with that. What gamer would disagree with that? What do you think about that? Do you think somebody needs to go back and be like, whoa, hold on. A lot of shit's bad in gaming right now with these optimizations. We need to get back on track with optimization. We got to stop worrying about 8K and ray tracing. We need the quality aspects back at the forefront. What do you think?
I definitely agree with that. The only reason I know that's never going to happen is it's too much like right. It's what you're saying is like, that's almost like a euphoria, man. And with the implementation of the internet on these consoles, it was a gift and a curse, right? But because the fact that they can patch games now, I don't think we'll ever see that level of care and quality ever again. Sadly, I say that sadly. Because back in the day, you could, it happened on occasion, but you really couldn't release a game fucked up back in the day because you would have to literally send that game in and get a replacement. Like, ain't nobody doing all that, bro. So they couldn't do that back in the day, but now, like with the advent of the internet on these consoles, they day one patches galore. It's just bad, bro. And then on top of that, like. That counteracts what Sony's trying to do right now anyway. For them to actually do that full-fledged, they can't go day and date because they already, like you said, they spread thin already. So if they reel it back a little bit, all right, let's widen this window out or keep the window where it's at with these PC releases, and let's really like lock in and hunker down on making this game optimize this fuck for this PlayStation. I would absolutely love that, bro. That would be probably the greatest thing that happened in gaming in the past 10 to 15 years. But like I said, that damn recycle euphoria, bro. Like, I wish it would happen, but hell, that's just it's a shame too, man. We can't expect people to take pride in their work and their craft anymore. Like, people get mad at you when you say that, like, oh, they're just game developers, bro. Why are you holding them to a high standard? Like, damn, doing your job is holding to a high. Okay, bro. My bad, dog. Shit, he only getting paid hundreds of thousands a year to do this shit. My bad. I ain't got to. Like, don't worry,
bro. That they should have their pride on releasing a quality product. They're making it. That should be an expectation.
Exactly.
You know, like, I'm pretty sure if you go to a restaurant, right, you sit down, you buy a meal, it costs $80, $100. You don't want them to give you a jank meal. Like, you want a quality meal. That's they're charging you the money. Like, you know, so you're right. That's just crazy, right? I'm gonna tell you, man, gaming industry gets a free pass on a lot of stuff.
On a lot of, bro. I swear, bro.
Like, there's one term I hate, and I say this, and I hate this term is support the devs. I hate that word because it's like it's as if the devs are owed something. Like, no, they make a consumer product. I'll give you money if the consumer product's good. If it ain't good, I ain't buying it. That's it.
You know what they treat these devs like it's a feed to children commercial. Like, for $70 a game, you can help this dev live
in a penthouse in Los Angeles.
Like, yeah, make a good fucking game, and we got you, my guy. Like, you got to hold up this shit is give and take, bro. You give us a quality game, and you can take our goddamn $70. But other than that, we ain't got nothing to talk about. I'm not just gonna throw money at you for putting out bullshit. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, like I if I take my wife out to dinner, whether it's even like a local dinner, something smaller like Cheesecake Factory or something, or even a bigger, more expensive place like Roof Chris, at no point be like, hey babe, let's go to a Cheesecake Factory so we can provide our support.
Like,
we gotta support Cheesecake Factory today. Like, no. That's not why I'm doing it, bro.
Like I said, I want people to hold game and devs to the same. No, I want people to hold other professions the same. I want you to hold the police, the doctors, the mechanics, anybody you deal with on a professional level. Hold them to the same standards you hold game and devs to. You won't live a fucking month, like. Did you fix my brake pads? Don't even worry about it. You can do the firmware on that. Don't even. You go in for open heart surgery. You ain't. Like, come on, man. What we doing, bro?
He said you could patch my brakes later on. It doesn't need to come out quality the day it comes out the shop. Oh shit, Jack, bro. You crazy, bro. That shit is funny, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, it's true, man. Like, like if I buy a plane ticket, that plane has to work.
Exactly, bro.
Like it can't fail. Like, there is no patch or update. Like, it's gotta work right there and then. You know, and I'm certainly not buying American Airlines ticket because, oh, you know why? I'm going to choose American Airlines because I got to support American Airlines. I got to provide my support. So only gaming industry gets away with that, bro. I'm like, yo, this is weird, man. Listen, gaming industry will be fine if they do their part first, which is, hey, we're going to release a quality product. We're going to come up with ideas that we think that gamers want. But here's my thing. I'm going to be honest. This is what annoys me. I get the fine balance between creativity. Right? I get that. I understand, right? I understand, you know, these developers want to look at themselves as artists, right? Because at the end, once the product is done, some people say it's art. No different than a movie or music or painting and stuff, right? It's a form of art or whatever. But sometimes you have to feed the people what they want. Like, sometimes you have to recognize, my consumers really want this, so I'm just going to give it to them. Because if I give it to them, they're going to buy it. And it's going to make me money. And what I mean by that is, I'll use Rocksteady as an example. I know Rocksteady knows no one wanted Suicide Squad. I know they had to know that. That was a pure creative decision with the hope of something happening. But they had to know that the gamers really wanted either another Batman single player, or if you're going to do a new IP, pick another DC character. And we'll buy it. Just repeat the process, right? Because the way I see it, and the reason why I use this as an example is because, and you grew up in the same era I have, most comic book games were trash. They were throwaway games. They were either, right? They were either made because a movie came out, so they just replicated the movie just to, you know, to feed off the movie. But no one really put genuine effort. It was rare for somebody to put genuine effort in a comic book game to treat it like a game of the year until Arkham Asylum came out with Rocksteady. That's when the shit changed. When Arkham Asylum came out, because Rocksteady just wanted to do it, that shit was like game of the year for a lot of places. 9.5, I think, at Metacritic or games. That shit was huge. And everybody saw the value in a proper game. And they were the only ones that was doing it, right? So they had Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Origins, and then Arkham Knight. And it was pretty much that way until Insomniac came and took Spider-Man. Now, with Spider-Man being taken to the next level and not a throwaway game that Activision used to make, now it created, to me, it was the spark. Between the Arkham series and Spider-Man, now comic book fans like, okay, the age of jank, bullshit, throwaway games is over. It's now time to take comic book serious. So now people are like, listen, my favorite character is Daredevil. I want that game of the year Daredevil treatment. Other people was like, Green Lantern. Some people are Punisher. Sure, there were Punisher games, but again, they were the jank throwaway shit. Now people want that Spider-Man, Batman Arkham treatment. And there's a shit ton of characters, right? And what does Rocksteady do? This Suicide Squad bullshit. And we're like, what? Like, you could have made a Green Lantern game and that shit would have been successful. Like, what are we doing here? Like, sometimes you just have to recognize what the audience wants and what they're willing to buy. It's easy. Right? Like, I don't know. Like, what do you think? Have you noticed that? Like, that they're missing the beat on what gamers want, that it's like blatantly in front of your face. Like, literally. What do you think? Or am I wrong? Am I missing something?
No, you strong the money. And all this goes back to, if you really could tie like 80 to 90% of what's wrong with gaming right now to the same thing. It's greed, bro. They all chasing unlimited revenue. But like, if you go back, I'm sure every Arkham game prior to Suicide Squad probably outsold Suicide Squad, probably made them way more money on a way smaller budget. So it's like, why are y'all doing this, bro? It's just not working. And WB, honestly, I think they just came out with a statement. They said some shit like they felt like some of the other games flopped because they weren't live services. Like, what the fuck?
What was it? It was EA Dragon Age, Velguard.
Like, what? Bro, I just don't understand how they seeing these games consistently flop and not come out or get canceled, multiverses. And they say, you know what? We need to do more of this. We need to double down on this. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, bro? Like, who do y'all got in y'all offices? Like, it's got to be I'm telling you, bro, some of these people is like Krang off Ninja Turtles, bro. It's some type of alien in a human body, or they got like a hamster wheel inside their fucking head. Like, I don't know who is coming up with this shit, bro.
I don't know how they said they attributed Dragon Age Velguard not meeting their expectation because it wasn't live service. I'm like, yo, this is wild, bro.
They tone deaf, bro.
I'm like, yo, this is wild, bro. Navanzor, thank you for the super chat. Says PC gaming is only big on YouTube, Twitter, and China. I don't know about that, man. I would say Europe PC gaming is big. PC gaming in Japan is also big. PC gaming has a lot of things, right? But I think like we both agree, man. It's weird that I don't know. Like with PlayStation balancing, they gotta balance their products out because again, they could push their gamers away. Right? There's only so much you could take. There's only so much when you devalue or make your product look like shit, motherfuckers gonna leave. And why would they? Right? Dragon Balls Deep. Pause, brother. Says, come on, Jack. The PS6 selling point is going to be 4K 120 using Pisser. The base PS5 can't even do that, while the base PS6 will. I mean,
we gonna see, man. We gonna see.
We could see, right? Freaky Zeke. Where are you guys coming from? My brother. All right, Freaky Zeke with the super chat. Thank you so much. Says, I think y'all should focus lack of optimization criticism and more at the suits instead of devs. Focus lack of optimization criticism. Well, yeah.
They're to blame too for pushing, certain time. They got real strict timelines and deadlines they trying to hit.
Like you said, greed. So it could be the suit says, hey, this game's got to come out in 5 years. Hey, we need another year for optimization. The game is coming out in 5 years. All right. Here we go. We'll patch it later. And like you said, I think you made up a good point. The internet really put a crutch because now we have the ability to easily get the games patched. They are willing to release the game jank and just say, "Oh, we'll just fix it later." But we gotta get and this is the thing. Like the suits don't understand. You are actually fucking up yourselves releasing it jank, because once that word comes out, other people are gonna be like, because it's not like every single person buys the game that right second at the same time. You know, some people might buy it the next day or 2 days later or 3 days later. But the first day comes out and the game is jank, all those people who didn't buy the game yet, they'll change their mind. They'll be like, "Oh shit, I'm not buying this game. I was
your first impression sometimes is your last impression."
You just lost sales over the course of the week or 2 or 3 or the month. Because not everybody buys it the very second. They'll buy it a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, or within that month. Still for $70. But day one, they see all those YouTubers saying, "Oh, this game's broken. It needs patches, whatever. That's it. You killed it." They're not even going to wait. They'll be like, "I'll buy this game when it's like $20 and all the updates comes out." You just fucked it up. First impression's huge. Crazy, bro. These suits, I don't know, like you said, I don't know who these analytical suits they hired, but they have no gaming culture whatsoever. None. They're just looking at straight numbers and they're fucking it up. This shit is weird, bro. Right. But yeah, good point, Freaky Zeke, man. Some of these suits are part of that. And then they want to say, "Oh, not only does the game need to come out in 5 years, but it needs to come out on PC." All right, do we get more time? Can you like hire more people? Nah. Figure it out. All right. You got this jank port. He's like, "What the fuck is happening here, bro? This shit is wild." Let me move on a little topic, man. Let's go a little bit more podcasting, man. Let's just talk about just how it is, right? What are your thoughts on how podcasting is now versus what we went through? Because we went through some wild times. Listen, chat. Don't get shit twisted. Jackmoove will go on that road trip. You know what I'm saying? He'll go on that road trip, baby. It was wild. Yo, Hangouts was wild, wasn't that?
Oh, absolutely.
Like we didn't know what to do.
Google Hangouts.
Yeah, we had no decorum. We didn't know the rules. What we knew is we invite a motherfucker, we go live. These are the topics. Let loose. It is what it is. But let me ask you something, because you were you were there in the beginning of Weapon Wheel, Pat, right? Weapon Wheel when it first started. Or did you hop on? So you were at the birth of the creation of Weapon Wheel. You were doing your own.
I wasn't on the first couple of episodes though. My computer was broke, but I was there at the beginning. Yeah.
All right, in the beginning, right? While I was just forming it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you were very, we're both familiar with. When did you start? Did you start it with the PS4, or were you already there to the PS3 gen?
I came in at like the tail end of the PS3 gen.
Okay.
PS4.
So right before the PS4 gen started popping.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you have that broad perspective. Since I started coming in really in 2016 for the, podcast. I was paying attention, like listening to everybody, but me putting in my input was early 2016, right? In this community anyway. So you got that full breadth of podcasting, pretty much the whole entire gen of PS4. And now you see how things are the way they are now, right? With the start of the PS5 and Xbox, whatever. Do you see a stark difference between the two? What are your thoughts? Give me your thoughts on what got better, what got worse, what you think should change, what we should go back to, from your perspective. Because I got my perspective on podcasting this gen versus last gen. And I think we talked about it before we went live, but, I want to start the conversation so everybody could hear.
I think early on, like first coming in, it was a lot less formal. Like you said, we were just getting a Skype call and getting Google Hangouts and shoot. It was really like shooting the shit, really like friends just talking shit about gaming. What we was doing that normally, but we might put it on YouTube or whatnot. So it was way less formal. It was just more free, man. Like like we were saying earlier, you could talk shit, you could argue for a few hours, and at the end of the day, y'all still be cool. Y'all might even run a game after that. Mm-hmm. I would say now it's way different, bro. You argue with somebody off some petty shit, it's murder beef forever. Like y'all never gonna get along after that. It might not even be none of your doing. Like they just gonna hate you for the rest of your life behind that shit. It's like, brother, it's not that deep. Like, so I think YouTube was just more. It wasn't as serious, bro. Like you could just get away with more shit. It was more fun, bro. Like now everything is meant. You know what I mean? Anything you say is just taken with the most illest intent. Like people don't really got that fun nature about themselves anymore. Everything is so serious and fuck you. I'm gonna leak this about you. I'm gonna try to ruin your life. It's like, bro, it ain't even about all that, bro. Like I think that's really what changed with the shit.
Oh man, do you see more podcasting being what's the term? Siloed or what's the word? Fuck, I always fuck this word up. This phrase where you really keep it to yourselves.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Like
man.
closed off communities.
Closed off. You close yourself out of having different opinions.
Like an echo chamber.
Echo chamber. God damn. Why do I always fuck that word up? But I can't remember. Do you see now more and more podcasting being echo chambers, meaning that they're not trying to have podcasting where diverse opinions, stuff like that. It's got to be like-minded personalities, and they just pretty much circle jerk each other, like with very little interruption, like, you know, and within the echo chamber is literally, I can say what I want that's completely wrong, and everybody's going to agree with me. Do you think you see more of that now as compared to last gen?
Oh, it's definitely a lot of that going on now. And that just go to people not wanting to, I guess you say, stand out. People, like I said, people don't like to have their own opinions. Even if they do have their own opinions, they're kind of shy of saying it because they don't want either their audience to get mad or they don't want their friends, their quote unquote friends, to get mad at them for having the difference of opinion. It's definitely an echo chamber, and I can't really watch content like that. That just don't sit well with me. Like I always tell people, even it's like some of my homies got podcasts, and it's just I'm like, bro, I don't need y'all just on that bitch arguing, but y'all got to have somebody with a different of opinion, bro. Like it's just too much kumbaya shit going on. Like I don't like to hear a podcast that got 4 or 5 different members and everybody saying the exact same thing. Why are all y'all here? You know what I'm saying? Like it's no point in this. Like I need to hear some pushback. I need to hear some slight debates, even if y'all want to argue, you know, y'all still cool at the end of the day. But yeah, I can't listen to content like I see the clips sometimes on Twitter. And then what's crazy about the echo chamber, whatever, them podcasts always have the worst fucking takes. It's like, bro, ain't nobody gonna ask this man what he just said. Like, what the hell?
I'm not gonna lie, man. When I see some of these takes and they're like outlandish, it's not even like a 2% possibility. It's like straight up, like, bro, that's not gonna happen. Like, what are you talking about? And then you look at the other panel and you're like,
they're just shaking their head, agreeing.
Anybody gonna say something? Yeah. Is anybody gonna be like, hold up, like, let's calm down. Like, that's not gonna happen. Not even that. They just, at best, you see them, like, you can see in their face that they know it's wrong. Like, you can see in their reaction, they be like, but and that's it. All you can do is you get at best a reaction. A guy say something crazy, they'd be like, and then you see the reaction, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And then they just let it go. They don't want to add that pushback live on the air in front of the audience. I'm like, yo, like you made the face, bro. Like, you know, say something. I'm like looking. I'm like, yo, this is crazy, bro. Like, this is weird. Like, no one wants to push back on, and like you said, it's just not personal. If a person makes if anything, to me, that's really doing a unless, and I will say this, unless the audience wants that, it's a disservice to the audience because you're pushing bad information. Imagine like you're listening to a podcast and they tell you, listen, Spider-Man's coming to Xbox, Wolverine's coming to Xbox, and you are listening to chat. You either could believe them or you could be like, are you a fucking idiot? I feel sorry for the guys that believe them, that believe these bullshit things, because that's not going to happen, and you're going to sit there screwed. I don't know. And, you know, and I'm pretty sure there's some PlayStation podcasts doing the same shit. I don't understand any podcast where somebody could say, and people like, for example, even on my podcast, when Craig said, you know, PS5 Pro is more powerful 4090.
I saw that. I saw that when it happened. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but you saw all of our reaction. I was like, bro, nah, we're not doing this. You're not clipping me with that bullshit. I tell people, hey, Craig Harris's words is not representative of the podcast. Like, nah. Even Jay Barr's like, nah, bro. You got clipped, bro. You on your own with that one. That like, but we push back. We'll be like, bro, nah, we're not doing that, and that's okay. It's okay for him to say it, and it's okay for us to be like, nah, dog.
Yeah.
What were you thinking, right? But that's all I expect. I don't expect people to hate each other on the podcast. Everybody should be, most of the people are grown adults doing this. It ain't 14-year-olds doing these podcasts. It's, we're all in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. One grown person could be like, hey, that's not going to happen. That's like, there's no reason for that to happen. Like, why are you saying that?
Let me ask you this too, because I feel like this. I don't want nobody around me that agrees. Because I know for a fact everything I say ain't gonna be on point like that. Like, if you ain't got a problem with nothing I say, bro, that's a problem too. Like, I don't want nobody agreeing with everything I say, bro. Like, what the fuck?
That goes in line with and I use this for like real life. If you're the smartest man in the room, you're in the wrong place. You know what I'm saying? Because that's no way for you to grow. So I never want to be the smartest man in the room, because then I need to go to a different room. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how you grow. You only grow when you're in an area that's above your scope, and then it's when you learn whatever. So you're right. If you're in a room and everybody's saying yes to you, are you really learning? Can somebody tell you, hey, you might want to look at it this way and stuff? It's always good to have people with a different view. Now, even then, some people have stupid views, and it's okay. But at least keep it going. That's where conversations and debates and happens, and everything, and eventually everything matures to a better talking point. But you're right, man. Some of these silos, like I'll be honest, I don't really listen to Xbox podcasts as I used to, because it changed to that dynamic.
No, I can't. I can't listen to that shit.
I'll be honest, I used to watch it because there was good conversation between the two, but then slowly this whole echo chamber really started taking hold, and I'm like, all right. They want to focus on the positive because there's a lot of negative. I could get that. But once they started creating dumb shit, like here's an example. Here's an example. I'm gonna show you an example of dumb shit. Like right now. This is like the Xbox content they're making up now. Echo Chamber, and they all co-signed it right now. GameSpot. Microsoft has more games slated for PS5 this year than Sony so far. Eurogamer. Xbox currently has more first-party games coming to PlayStation 5 this year than Sony. Ryan McCaffrey. Microsoft might legit publish more games on PS5 this year than Sony does. Smiling, laughing emoji. VGT Gaming News. Xbox releasing more first-party games on PlayStation this year than Sony is on its own platform. Like, what the fuck? Is this a topic now? Like, I don't understand what... So we went from Xbox having exclusives, like, oh shit, PlayStation... Xbox making games to PlayStation, to now we're trying to clown PlayStation because Xbox putting games on Play. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I can't watch podcasts on that. Like, what the fuck are we talking? So you're trying to make PlayStation look bad for getting Xbox games,
or they like, trying to make PlayStation publish more of their games on Xbox.
Yeah, so that way they could say, oh, wait, we can't allow Xbox to put more games on us. No, we're going to put more. Like, I don't know, like, what is the conversation? Like, what is the, like, I don't know what the argument is. Because if this would have happened last gen, everybody would have been like, Xbox bent the knee. But now they're trying to make it seem like Xbox won by putting games on PlayStation. And the funny part is the dudes on Xbox are celebrating it. I'm like, bro, you own a console. Like, I even tell guys, even in the DMs, this is what's crazy. Even in the DMs, like, people argue with me and try to clown me, like, try to clown me or whatever. Oh, yeah, Xbox is going to be king because the games are going on PlayStation. And I'd be like, bro, look at it this way. You own a console where you can play Blade. I own a console where I can also play Blade, along with Spider-Man, Wolverine, X-Men. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, Spider-Man, Wolverine, X-Men, So how are you winning? And then they leave the chat. They never talk to me again. And that's what I want to tell you dudes who are talking shit about this. How are you benefiting talking shit about Xbox games going on PlayStation? You got Forza Horizon. PlayStation got Forza Horizon and Gran Turismo. You guys got Elder Scrolls and all this shit. PlayStation got Elder Scrolls and Horizon. You see what I'm saying? You guys, when Xbox gets a Team Ninja game, Ninja Gaiden, it goes to PlayStation. But when PlayStation gets a Team Ninja game, like Neo, Rise of Ronin, that shit don't go to Xbox. So I don't understand why they put in this energy trying to make PlayStation look stupid, when in the end, it's you who looks stupid. You own a product that got less games. You get Blade, but that PlayStation gamer gets Blade, and Spider-Man, and Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2, and Wolverine, and now we know also because of the League, X-Men. So how is the PlayStation gamer look stupid in this conversation? That's what blows my mind. So and they do this in the podcast, and I'm like, yo, these guys don't see. They're the ones getting clowned, bro. PlayStation gets Gears and Intergalactic. They get think about it. That you got a console now with Coalition and Naughty Dog on that console. The other console just Coalition. How can you talk shit under those conditions? I would be pissed as fuck if I was a Xbox YouTube content creator. I'd be like, hold up, I'm stuck with just Gears while the next dude gets Gears and Uncharted and the last. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are we talking about here? I'm not worried about if an Xbox game is selling better than a PlayStation. It doesn't matter. I got less games. What do you think about that? Like, I don't understand.
You know why they don't care though, right?
What?
You know why they don't care though, right? They don't care because Phil Spencer go on a podcast and say, here over at Xbox, we pride ourselves on giving great games and not gatekeeping. It's all PR talk. The buzzwords start flowing. See, before he said all that, they wasn't with this shit. They still not with this shit for real. But you know how they go.
Yeah. And even, I don't know, but I don't understand why they try to use it as ammo. Like, how can you use ammo of you getting less games? How, like, bro, you looking like that dude Adam, whatever his name is, sharing his wife, Nina the Plug.
Oh, Adam 22.
Yeah, Adam 22, bro. Like, that's how these dudes looking like. Like, bro, your wife is getting plowed, and you trying to talk shit because you married her? That's not a flex. You can't go, hey, you may have fucked my wife, but I married her. That's not a flex. That's Jackmoove. That's not a flex.
It's definitely not. Look, and I'm gonna say this. Y'all can call me a fanboy, pony, whatever. If PlayStation start doing what Xbox, bro, I'm not gonna be happy about. You're not gonna see me. Well, this really increases PlayStation's market share, and nigga, I'm gonna be like, bro, what the fuck are y'all doing, bro? I'm gonna be renting just like I've been doing. Like, no, I don't see that, bro. Crazy.
Oh man, but I'm saying that's not a flex, bro. And again, I get it. Some people will say, but it's business. I'm like, cool. I get it. I get the shit.
That don't mean you gotta like it though, either. You know what I mean?
That doesn't mean I gotta co-sign it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, all right, but does the business decision translate to something I'm getting better? How this is better for me and me buying a console, right? And right now we haven't seen that. There is nothing, I think we could both agree, there is nothing that so far PlayStation benefited with this one live service strategy and PC move. We didn't get anything.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No one, and I asked people, what exactly has a PlayStation 5 gamer got that we never got before ever since the strategy implemented? Because we always got games. Hell, even PS3 was a failure. They never made money off of PlayStation 3. It was a complete loss of revenue. That whole gen, right? They didn't make profit for the entire gen. We still got games. So even when Sony was losing money, they found a way to make games for the PlayStation. Arguably, what was the hardest console to develop games for? Because of the cell processor. And they still found a way to make great games, despite losing money. PlayStation 4, there was no PC strategy, no live service strategy, and shit. Some people say that's probably one of the best eras. Definitely, a lot of people say it's better than PS5. So let me get this straight. PS4 launched, no PC strategy, no live service strategy, and it's better than the gen that has the PC and live service strategy. Am I missing something, Jack?
No.
This PC strategy didn't benefit me. Like, what did this fucking do?
I'm still waiting. All these people are telling me stop complaining, doom and gloom. Still waiting. Yeah, they y'all told me this was gonna be great for me. Hey, we is 4 years, 5 years deep. I'm still waiting on the returns on the investment. I don't know, man. I ain't seeing it personally, but it just might be me. I got glasses. I don't know.
Yeah. Now I think Sony did make money, but they're not put into new projects. It's just more revenue for shareholders, for the company, and it stays there. That's what I think. Because if all this money was making, I don't know, bro. And I know some people be like, oh, look, we got China Hero projects. I'm like, but Sony has always done second party deals. So that's not new. That's not really a new strategy. You know what I'm saying? I could maybe understand if they took this money and they'd be like, hey, we're building new first party studios to make VR games. Because, VR is kind of lacking with exclusives. So, hey, we built 3 new VR studios. All right, maybe because of the PC money, I could assume they're doing that, but they didn't do that. In fact, how many new first-party VR studios have they created?
They closed the one down they was working with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're not making a new VR studio. I could maybe understand that, to support VR. They didn't do that. I don't know, but you're right. None of these strategies is translating a beneficial thing for us console gamers. Like, we're not getting a benefit, it's just not. We're not getting a benefit. This whole thing about buy remakes to get new ideas.
Oh, they kill me with that shit.
Get the fuck
they killing me
with
that
bro.
shit.
So you're telling me the original game selling 8 million. So Days Gone selling 8 million can't make Days Gone 2, but this $10 upgrade, oh yeah, we getting Days Gone 2.
Exactly. Like, bro, I bought the game in 2019. What the fuck?
Came in and they clipped this dude. Hey, chat, you can hear me?
Now you lagged out a little bit. What's up?
All right. You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, now, okay. What you were saying? Start over because I couldn't hear you.
No, I was saying, I bought fucking Days Gone in 2019, but they saying now, and they didn't care. $10 is gonna make a difference. Like, damn up. It's ridiculous, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. Listen, the remake, whatever. People enjoy it. But please do not come to me and tell me that the future of Days Gone 2 rests with this remaster. Nah. Don't sell me that bullshit. The first game sold 70 million. If that didn't convince them to make a new game, then what the hell's a remaster gonna do?
Exactly.
Like what? We expect a remaster to say 8-9 million? Even you're not gonna get that. Most people already own it. At best, they're just gonna do the $10 upgrade. You're telling me $10 is gonna do something? It's really gonna do something. $10. You know what I'm saying? Even if you did get like 1 million, 2 million people to buy the game, you're buying it at $40. How is that any different than buying the PS4 version at a discount like 3 months later at $40? The game sold 8 million copies. So if 8 million copies wasn't good enough, what is the remaster supposed to do? It's going to sell 20 million copies now? Like, bro, this shit is wild. Like, I don't know. I'm not feeling this remaster shit and stuff like that. I don't know. But it is what it is, right? And I know some people say we got new users, but then what the hell is backwards compatibility for? It's for the people who...
Exactly.
I would say this. If there was any console that needed a big remaster remake strategy, it was literally the PS4. Because you couldn't play the PS3 games. Where's Resistance 1 and 2 and 3? You can't play it. Metal Gear Solid 4. You can't play it. Metal Gear Solid 4 cannot be played. It is stuck on the PlayStation 3. That game should have been remastered, right? Heavenly Sword should have been remastered. There is a lot of games on the PS3 that should have been remastered, all because they can't do backwards compatibility. So I would have if they would have done it last gen, because they didn't have a choice. Like, bro, we fucked up on the backwards compatibility, so we're doing these remasters because we want these games accessible to the new audience. We want Metal Gear Solid 4 accessible to the new audience. We want Infamous 1 and 2 accessible to the new audience. We want Heavenly Sword accessible to the new audience. We want Resistance 1, 2, and 3 accessible to the new audience. Just to see, for all because here's the thing. New audience, right? PlayStation 3 sold around 85 million. PlayStation 4 ended up selling what? 120 something million, right?
Yeah.
That's 40 million people who didn't own the PS3. You have a shit ton of new people. And maybe they're not new to PlayStation. Maybe the last time they had a PlayStation was PlayStation 2, but they came back. So you got 40 million people that deserve to play Infamous 1 and 2, Heavenly Sword, Killzone 2, Metal Gear Solid 4. So this whole remaster strategy, if they should have done it with the PS4, because they needed it. PS4 needed a remaster strategy. Absolutely needed it. Because the PS3 backward compatibility didn't work. It's just not there. So remaster all the biggest games that you have. I would have been fine with that because it would have made sense. It would have made sense. But you're remastering a PlayStation 4 game that's backwards compatible, and you could have just done an update.
They got a patch when it came to PS5.
Like, come on, man. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense. If any console needed this remake strategy or remaster strategy, was the PS4, because they had no choice. If you didn't remaster the game, oh well. You just like Killzone 2. The one good Killzone out of all of them, no one could play it. We can't play it. Or for those that do want to play it. Because it wasn't been remastered. The one that bothers me the most is Metal Gear Solid 4. I have to, and I don't even have my PlayStation 3 here. Right? I have it in North Carolina. But if I want to play that game, I got to boot up a PS3 to play it. There's no other way to play it. Why wasn't that remastered if we're going to do this logic? Like, you see what I'm saying? That's why this whole remaster strategy is fucking stupid. They literally remastered the entire PS4 catalog that works on the PS5 by default. But the shit that don't work, Infamous 1 and 2, Metal Gear Solid 4, Heavenly Sword. I mean, we could go down the list. There's a shit ton of titles that's just not working. Unless you're gonna do the stream, but fuck that streaming bullshit. We want that shit natively. They let
support the devs,
oh,
P-Rock.
Man, get it, support. Oh man, this is wild and stuff like that. But I want to say, man, hit the like button, guys. Like, listen, is there any other topics you want to talk about, my brother? Because I don't want to keep you here all night and all day.
Trying to think, is there anything else I want to touch on, man? Shit.
Let me ask you this. I mean, it's probably stupid, but this talk of potentially Xbox selling 25 million. How do you see the future of Xbox console? You think that shit's gonna fucking, like, Microsoft be like, we done with this bullshit? Or what do you think? What's your view on the future console? What's your future view on Xbox console gaming? And then we'll talk PlayStation console gaming. I think we touched about it a little bit, but right now, the Series X console and all that stuff. How do you see the future of Xbox consoles?
I think Xbox is going to do one more generation. I think after this next round of consoles, they're going to be done. And I say that sadly. I really don't want Xbox to go nowhere. I feel like PlayStation in recent memory been at their best when Xbox was not even at their best, but at least trying to, put up a fight. And even when they start buying all these studios, I was really hoping, you mentioned earlier, I was really hoping they would be like, we going to revert a little bit back on everything is day one in Game Pass and everything is an Xbox. I was really hoping they was going to pull back and revert on that a little bit, but they said, fuck it. Matter of fact, PlayStation is an Xbox. Like, they really just went, you know what I mean? So they took the gloves off, man. It ain't really no fight no more. It ain't been competitive in a minute. And I think overall we hurting collectively because they are doing this. I don't really know why they are making consoles still, because every time numbers come out, I'm not a numbers, but every time numbers come out, they always, this is 20% less year over year, 15%. Like, what number, bro? At certain point, this bitch got to reach zero, right? Like, it's never in a positive. It's always negative. Like, what the fuck number are they going off of? Like, God damn.
Like, like, how are you not at zero by now?
Know what I'm saying, bro? Like, what the hell? The number don't never go up either, bro. It's like, how? What the?
Ever.
I don't know. Though.
Not even like plus 1%. No, it's always a negative number. And like, at what point do you bottom out and say, "Hey, we didn't sell anything"? Like, right now, and I made a video, and of course, all we could do is, is a little bit of conversation, also a little antagonization. But seriously, AMD in their shit, they said that to them, there's over 100 million consoles, right? They didn't go 110 million. Probably means like 100 million and 10,000 or 100,000. When they usually do it like that, it's above 100 million, but not enough to really call out the number. Like 110 million, 12 million, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, AMD's saying that there's, for the current gen, 100 million consoles, right? And now with PlayStation, they announced they shipped 75 million consoles. Now, of course, people will be like, "Oh, that shipped, not sold." I'm like, whatever. It doesn't really matter. because the reality is it's been built, Sony got it, and they shipped it to the retailers or whatever. That means AMD's, from AMD's perspective, when they say there's 100 million consoles, they're talking about how many chipsets that they produce and gave to the manufacturer, which is Sony and Xbox. So from their perspective, they know by the end of December, they produce over 100 million consoles because they have the hardware. They know. So now, 100 million consoles got pushed out. Sony says, hey, 75 million of that is us because we shipped 75 million. Doesn't matter whether it's to retailers or direct to consumers, it's got built. So if you do the math, AMD's doing 100 million. Sony says we got 75, so what's left? It's 25 million. So right now, the rumors of Xbox doing 30-some million, that shit is highly unlikely because where did they get the chipsets from? If AMD says, hey, we pushed out 100, unless AMD pushed out 110 million, but if they pushed out 110 million, they would have said 110. They only said over 100 million because it's probably a number just slightly above 100 million. Yo, what if Xbox only did 25 million? Like, how do you see that number?
Terrible, bro. That's actually horrible. Like,
that's bad.
That's what I'm saying. For a leading console manufacturer, that's horrendous, bro. Like,
that's OG Xbox numbers. Yo.
And that's in 5 years. So that's been coming up on 5 years, bro. That's fucking abysmal.
That's literally OG Xbox numbers because OG Xbox did about 25 million around the same time frame. Same number. Around 25 million.
That's only like 6 million consoles a year. That's really bad.
No. So I'm like, yo, and now here's the thing. You mentioned how is PlayStation 6 going to sell? How is the next Xbox going to sell? Because, we still got a few years of this generation, right? So that means over time, you're going to see more and more Xbox games on the PlayStation. Wait till the average casual learns the Xbox game is going to. That's when it really is going to hurt. Right now, I still think it's a hardcore community enthusiast knowledge. When the average dude, like, your cousin that only plays Madden, right? You probably have that cousin, right? He calls you, be like, hey, yo, Jack. You're like, what's up, blood? What up, cousin? Yo, I heard Xbox making games for PlayStation. That true? That's when it's over. When your cousin calls you and tells you, yo, Xbox games going to PlayStation, like everything, it's over. Because the casuals ain't going to care about this Steam OS, and they're not going to give a shit. All they're going to know is, yo, Xbox games on PlayStation. All I got to do is get a PlayStation. And I got Xbox. That's it. That's all they care. They're not going to get into this Steam OS third-party OEM battle. They don't give a shit about that. That's when when you get that phone call from your cousin, that's when it's over. And it's going to happen over the next 2-3 years. So now with that said, let's say your cousin calls you 2 years from now. And they'll be like, hey, yo, Jack, what's this about Halo going to PlayStation? What's going on? And you're like, hey, yo, bro, Xbox making their games for PlayStation is done. How is Xbox going to sell a console once that gets out among the casuals? What's the selling point? You think Sony has it bad? You think Sony has it bad? You can't even sell an Xbox console now. What the fuck are you going to do in 2028? How's that good? What is the selling point? This shit's going to be a disaster. So I think you're right. They'll probably give it one more shot. They'll probably think of, we could sell it by, I don't know what they're going to say. I honestly don't know what they can say to make it interesting. Because usually hardware doesn't really sell consoles. I mean, it's a good topic in the beginning, but hardware specs fades real quick. You know what I'm saying? That lasts maybe a year at best. After that, people are going to be like, what the games are, bro. Like, right? So far, that still holds true today.
Yep.
So, Xbox, that shit's going to be crazy. Anyway. But I guess we can leave it at that, man. I know it's almost 3 o'clock here, so it's probably like, 5 or 6 for you?
About to be 5, yeah.
5, yeah? Okay, so you're like 2 hours ahead of me. All right. But, hey, I want to say, hey, Jackmoove, I appreciate you coming through. Thank you so much. Man, I really appreciate it, man. It's good chopping up with you, brother. It's been a while.
Yeah, no doubt.
How's things with Weapon Wheel, man? How's that going? How you feel? Well, how you feel's the future now? I'm not going to do that. I don't want BG to beat you out. Never mind. We're not going there.
Hey, I'm gonna say everything seemed to be good.
Yeah, we leave it at that. Everything's great, BG.
Cool.
He loves Weapon Wheel. We love it.
Wink, wink. Yeah.
Nothing's wrong. All right, we you know, yes, echo chamber, baby, echo chamber. Everything's going great. The numbers are up. Everything. The topics are better. All right, we're gonna leave it alone. Anyway, man, Jack, I want to say I really appreciate you coming through. Thank you so much, chat. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. All right. Only reason why I did it on Saturday was because yesterday was Valentine's Day, so in the evening did something with the wife. But normally every Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, the one-on-one live every Friday. All right. And then tune in for Tuesday, 60 Frames No Like podcast. Hey, yo, Jack. Besides Weapon Wheel, you do anything on your own, or like fuck this, you're done?
No, I still stream. I just recently moved, like, so I'm trying to get everything back. My fucking capture card broke after I moved, bro. Like, it's just, I'm just trying to get everything back right, though.
So my man's gonna get back in the saddle, do his thing. Is Jiggy Battles coming back?
I'm glad you mentioned Jiggy Battle League. We should be having a press conference on Monday. So we got some upcoming battles. Yeah, man. You know, KD like to do a little press conference. So we should have some new battles coming.
Get Smooth back on there. I need Smooth back.
I do too. Smooth did good when he came on there, man. It was funny.
All right, man. That's just good, man. So Jiggy Battles, all that good stuff, man. Stay tuned for that. Glad to see you back. Thank you so much. And now, hopefully, this dispels the rumors. Me and Jack don't hate each other.
Bro, I don't know why they think I hate King Thrash. I don't fucking hate King Thrash. I don't know why they see if it's PlayStation dudes that don't necessarily agree. You don't fuck, bro. I don't hate these people, bro.
All right, man. So, okay. All right. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much to everybody else. Man, my friends, fellow gamers, your only friend is YouTube Streets, Puertorock77. I hope you enjoyed today's live. Hit the like button, share this out. And thank you so much. And for all those that supported the channel with the super chats, I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy your Saturday afternoon with us. And I will see you guys next week. You guys take care. Peace. And